All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Brohannya's podcast, episode 11, Return of the King of England, the Scouser himself.
Scousers are from Liverpool. We're off to a terrible start, but here we go.
But yeah, welcome Boo back.
Old Boo Bear.
Last time, it was a lot of questions about British culture, food.
This time it's not really. Yeah, a lot of that, really.
Yeah, this time it's going to be more based around you, not your country so much.
Good. I mean, we had 4 hours of debate, cultural debate.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was a great
so
time.
And it was a quick 4 hours, too, is the thing.
Well, we had, 4 hours was edited.
Yeah.
Before that, it was what, 5?
It was almost 5. It went on.
Thank you for anyone who actually bothered watching for 4 hours. And I know there was.
We actually had a good bit of views on
Yeah.
that.
The viewing figures were fantastic. So, I mean, obviously, somebody out there wants to listen to us talk.
And I like it. I dig it. I think that was a great episode.
Yeah. So now we'll get a little bit deeper. So to start, we didn't get to ask you about this last time. You're quite the world traveler as far as you just grab a backpack and go.
Oh, yes, sir.
So how many countries have you been to? And then going off of that, which one was your favorite of all of them?
I've been to 19 countries, and I think I had a record of them in this notebook. And if I don't, I'm not going to waste too much time. So I'll just try to tell you quite how many. But there were a great number of countries.
19
here we
including
go.
the US?
No, I've got the list here.
Okay.
So, I mean, England doesn't really count because, of course,
No, it does.
It does. I mean, you were born there, but it counts.
I was
I've been
born
in 2
there,
countries.
yes. I mean, clearly America, or else I wouldn't be here right now speaking to you from America.
Yep.
Germany, Poland, Romania, Scotland, Portugal, the Czech Republic, France, Ireland, Sweden, Belgium, Austria, Wales, Holland, Slovakia, Lithuania, Hungary, Luxembourg, and Switzerland. I make that around 19.
Okay.
And your question being?
Which one was your favorite? And why was it your favorite?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, if you hit me with a question like that, there are different favorites for different reasons.
No, number 1 overall. You can only pick
The
one.
one you like, if someone walked up to you right now, like, I give you a plane ticket to any of the 19 countries you've already been, where do you want to go?
Looking at this list now in front of me, I'm going to say it's easily between Switzerland or Austria.
I hear a lot of people say good things about Switzerland.
Yeah.
Well, both of these places, Switzerland in particular, Switzerland is a self-sustaining economy,
Right.
which means everything's very expensive, but at the same time, everything's very clean. Mm-hmm. It's more or less litter-free. The food and drink are incredible. They're very, very expensive, eye-wateringly expensive. I don't know how to translate to American dollars. All I will say is a pint of beer in my country would probably cost you between £5 and £6. In the equivalent of that in Switzerland is probably like 8 or 9, and it's very good beer.
So it's kind of just like bar prices all the time.
All the time, yeah, wherever you go. And but for that, I mean, it more than makes up for itself in the terms of food, culture. The scenery is breathtaking. Mountains, castles, everything that I get to see in England, only in a foreign setting, with much less corruption, and it hasn't been corrupted so much. It almost stands as if it was there all those centuries ago, and that's what's beautiful. Austria, amazing bakeries, incredible bread, lovely people, I find, and my favourite beer, of course, Stiegel.
And with that being said, which one's your least favorite?
Yeah.
Gosh,
the worst.
if there's a country here that I wouldn't go back to, it's probably Slovakia. And the reason that stands out, I experienced rudeness here. At that time, I was seeing a girl who was Austrian. She spoke German, I spoke English, and we tried to board a bus in Slovakia. And he was like, "Non Deutsch, no English." So he didn't want to hear from her or me. So where we were going and how much we had to pay this man in a fare was a mystery. Very rude. The flea market was dangerous. I mean, dangerous to a point where they were selling cheap, tacky crap. I mean, it was rubbish. But also the threat of gang violence and the idea that you can't get through with your mother tongue, and therefore translation wasn't even possible with a country that borders on it. you know, and therefore Slovakia, as nice as, you know, it had high points, but the hotel we stayed in was shabby, the flea market was rough, and the food wasn't much to write home about, and the people tended to be hostile. I don't know whether that's, I don't know, in this day and age, I'll probably get hung for xenophobia for saying things like this. But no, Slovakia is somewhere I wouldn't return to, even if you gave me a ticket, I'd turn it down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Rough place.
So if they were like that to y'all, imagine what they would be like to us.
Hey,
Cuz, I need a ride to,
how you doing, brother?
give me a ride about 5 minutes down yonder.
I mean, the weather was nice. That's what I'll give it. But Bratislava, their capital city, is also, yeah, it's quite nice. But again, you wouldn't want to get in a taxi or anything like that because they'll just straight up lock the doors and try and talk nonsense to you until they get as much money out of you as possible. Not somewhere I want to go back anyway.
Okay, so you've mentioned before that you would kind of just grab your backpack and go.
Yes.
Without any accommodations in place.
True.
No itinerary, like I'm going to go here, I'm going to do this. And you've stayed with random people on their couches, in their homes. Did you ever have a time where you were terrified something might happen to you?
Yes, once in Holland. Now, Holland had been so good to me because Amsterdam, any one of you that hasn't been to Amsterdam, I mean, you don't have to smoke dope, you don't have to like prostitutes, you don't have to do all the sort of red light district things that Amsterdam brings with it. But Amsterdam itself is just a very interesting city and it's very international. The people you'll meet there, you haven't got any guarantee that there'll be Dutch people, even though you're in Holland, because it is that tourist trap, similar to any major city. You don't know who you're going to meet there. And so when you go to these shared hostels, which I often did, most of my experiences with this were pleasant. And then, of course, I've had a shared hostel where the people were hostile, so to speak. And I've had my things stolen while I was sleeping. And this is, most of the time, you can sort of make guarantees for your safety just by looking after yourself and keeping one eye over your shoulder. That particular instance in Holland didn't work out. I had my things stolen. And the accommodation was nasty. The people weren't very pleasant. Just depends where you happen to land. Also, Hamburg, Germany, I was mugged. And the story of being mugged in Hamburg, Germany goes as follows. I've told you about this one.
Yeah.
I was looking for my way back to the train station. I'm by myself. And I ask a group of lads who I presume are German where the local train station is. Turns out they were not German, they were Italian, and I should have known better. I should have heard the inflection in the accent and known this. Anyway, these boys were clued up. I'm not sure if you call them career criminals, but they were certainly a gang. And they gave me a network of directions, lefts and rights, that took me into an alleyway. And then when I was in this alleyway, there were 4 of them, a dead end, and me. And I knew what was going to happen next. I just knew it. Mm-hmm. I tried to surrender my wallet to them. Wasn't good enough. They were in it for the kicking, so I got floored. All 4 of them, well, I don't know, but I believe all 4 of them set the boots to me, and I was, which side? I think I was black and blue from back here to right up to here.
So they just jumped you?
Bruising. Yeah.
Why?
Do you know what? Because it was a mugging. It was quite an organised mugging.
Yeah, but like...
So why not just take the wallet and go?
Right. No, but they mug you to get your stuff and go.
Yeah, well, in that instance, they took every. I had my money changed from English pounds into euros, so they took the euros and threw my wallet back at me. So,
at least they gave you your wallet back.
Yeah, hallelujah. I mean, thank God for people like that, you know.
Yeah.
Such a kind criminal.
I mean, yeah, they gave my wallet back at least,
Right,
you know.
yeah.
No, don't worry about the bruising and the fact that I was alone in a foreign land, but you know, I got my wallet still.
Jesus Christ.
I was penniless after that, but thankfully I had some help from back home, so they helped me out.
That's why I like having pew-pews in America.
So, I mean, why? Okay, what made you just decide one day, like, all right, I'm just going to go and figure it out?
By yourself. Like, I would never travel anywhere by myself.
Easy one to answer. I watched everybody go on holiday with their parents, or what you would call vacation with their parents or their families, all the while I was growing up. Mm-hmm. We went nowhere. My family are, and God bless them, I love them obviously, but I mean, they're the kind of people who, we are from the town of Reading. They are Reading born, they are Reading bred. When they die, they are Reading dead.
Yep.
they tend not to really embrace the idea of travel or going anywhere exotic. They're homebodies. They always will be homebodies, and so therefore for me, it was envy. There was a jealousy in me that I watched everybody do these things because their families were well off. They had money. They had the means to go on holiday. They could get on planes and go wherever they wished. And people always went to Egypt and to Spain and to all these like exotic, warmer countries. And I decided if I ever got the opportunity to do that, I wasn't going to be a sun seeker. I know I end up in the south of Alabama after saying this, but I wasn't going to chase the sun, and therefore I didn't. So as soon as I began working, I worked 3 jobs. Mm-hmm. I saved and saved and saved and saved. And then I thought, well, now is my time. Now is my chance to capture some freedom, right? So I don't really care if I can pronounce the place. I'm just going to find a place in Europe, find a cheap airline, and I'm going to go there. And I'm going to make the most of it.
That is something too. Like flying from England, y'all can fly to, like you've mentioned, Paul does it a lot. Like y'all fly to places for so cheap.
Oh yeah. And see the cost of it. So to fly internationally, it's not cheap. But
of course.
But
like y'all could fly to like Spain and stuff for what, like £100 a ticket?
Yeah. Oh, sometimes even cheaper.
insane.
If you get a real bargain, you could go to.
That's like crazy, dude. A ticket for us to go to Spain would probably be like $2,000.
I know. Yeah, it's outrageous, isn't it? So, I mean, as long as it's within the European Union, things have changed. Things are more pricey. They're much more costly now than when I began to do this. But why not seize it? So I just took advantage of it.
That's
I want to go to Asia.
Crazy though.
Yeah. Well, you've got sort of an Asian fascination. I don't mean in a sort of porno DVD kind.
Oh, no, definitely not.
But you like Japanese culture.
Love Japanese culture and Chinese, like all Asian culture. Like I really want to go to Korea too. I have a buddy of mine who's in the military. Mm-hmm. He talked to me a lot about Korean culture. You 2 boys, if you just to lend your forearms to me, and you've got this. This is obviously this is the Brohannya sort of mascot, I suppose. Yeah. So let me ask you two: how did this design come about, and why have you both got it?
So it actually started. Okay, both of our wives got matching tattoos, and I texted Christian, and I was like, "All right, so when are we getting one?" And he was like, "Absolutely not. I will never do it." Like, because at the time I had 2 tattoos, and he had none, and he was like, "I'm not getting a matching tattoo, let alone am I getting a matching tattoo for my first tattoo." So I was like, "All right, whatever." Some time passed, and as I kept just pestering him about it, he was like, "All right, I'll do it, but it can't be something stupid." I wanted it to be something stupid, like just, like you get SpongeBob, I get Patrick, or just something ignorant. No. And then so he was like, "Look, it's got to be something good," and he definitely he loves Japanese culture. I like it a lot, but he definitely leans more into it than I do. But that was something that we could both agree on. It was either going to end up being like something like that or Star Wars related. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were looking at lightsabers for a while, but it's hard to make lightsaber tattoos look good. Just because of the whole glowing effect that you need to capture. I mean, I'm sure somebody could do it, but I feel like it would have to be kind of like a blackout tattoo with the lightsaber. Would probably make it
so
work.
it stands out.
They're very thin, linear things. It doesn't make for a great image.
And then over time, when the color fades out, it's just lights just don't really go well for tattoos, I feel like.
And then, so once we decided on Japanese culture, I wouldn't say it was easy. It was definitely hard because then we were getting to all right, do we want something like a dragon, or do you want like a cherry blossom tree or this? And then we kind of settled on the Oni mask, and then we started working through it, and then we kind of moved to the Hanya mask, which is what this is. And then we just found like 3 or 4 iterations of it that we both really liked. And then we found essentially the one.
And what do you mean? Was this drawn up for you, or was it an existing image?
So we found an existing image that was based off of this one.
Yeah.
And then we gave it to our artist, and then he took it and turned it into something else. Like originally it had smoke that came out and went straight up.
Yeah.
And he was like, he ended up doing this, which is actually a Korean style flame. That's what he said.
Yeah.
He said this is Korean style flames. And I asked him, I was like, I like that. What was your plan for the smoke? He said, I was never going to do that smoke.
Okay, so then to lead up, what draws you towards Far Eastern culture in that sense? Korea, Japan?
It's so
I don't
beautiful.
know, man. Ever since I was a kid. Well, my dad also. My dad he was always really into like Chinese culture. So if you go in my dad's bedroom in his house, he has like an old what's that thing called? that used to, in the old days, they would change behind it. You know what I'm talking about?
It was like the
those modesty screens, right?
A lot
Oh,
of
that
them
might
were
be what it's called.
made out of linen.
Yeah.
But then you see like the really ornate ones
Like
that
the
had
Chinese
like
ones with all
the
so my dad
intricacies on
literally
it.
took one of those that he got from somewhere, and he made it his headboard for his bed.
Mm-hmm.
And then so like that's his headboard, and he has like katanas and a bunch of different like throwing stars he's collected over the years. But he's super into like Chinese culture.
So this doesn't tie in with the fact that on the last podcast that we did, we were talking about you really enjoyed Thai and Vietnamese style food.
Yes.
I was just wondering whether the food drew you towards the Far Eastern culture.
No, the food was something we recently got into because the Thai, that was probably like 5 years ago, probably.
Give or take. It was really just something that was like every time that we would go out, really like 4, 5, 6 years ago, every weekend, our wives would do something, and then like we would just stay at home and play video games or whatever. And then eventually it got to a point it was like randomly when they would go do stuff, we would go and eat, and then we'd go have a cigar, or we'd go do something. And then after so long, we had eaten at all the places that we normally ate at. And then it was just like, you get tired of the same crap. Mm-hmm. So then it just turned into like, let's just see what's out there. And he kind of took control of that because I'm a picky eater, but not like picky in the way I won't try something new. And so like anytime it was like a Saturday and it was like, all right, let's go have lunch, he would just pick something like off the wall that you would never think to go to. And then we just started knocking them out.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them around here, surprisingly.
Yeah. Speaking of there being a lot of sort of places around here of Far Eastern food and culture and things, you two would probably think it's shocking that I hadn't tried hibachi before I came here. But of all those countries I've just listed off, hibachi was the Japanese style steak cooked the way that it is here. It was the first time I ever had it was in America. So
and funny enough, him talking about his dad being like he loves the Chinese culture. My grandma is actually the one who got me into it.
Becky?
Yeah, you've been to her house.
Oh yeah.
When you walk in the bottom floor, the same little screen that his dad turned into a headboard,
Yeah,
she's got like 3 of them.
Remember?
Yeah.
I was like, this is the same exact one my dad has.
And so seeing that around my grandma is kind of what pushed me to it.
See, I like these conversations. For as much as I hang out with these two, I just learned something new.
Yeah.
There we go.
And then it kind of then it turned into its own thing. We went and got the tattoos done, and then many years later, it became our logo now, and
he's your mascot now.
that's been it.
Well,
And he
technically, this is a woman.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I did beg my pardon.
So the history of Hanya, if you don't know, is it's usually a woman scorned who then becomes possessed by a demon of jealousy and envy
And rage.
What is it they say? I'm not sure if it's Bible scripture or if it's just an old saying, but they say hell hath no
fury like a scorned
like
woman.
like the woman scorned. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, that's just an old saying, but it's true though. I mean, and then also there's another iteration of the Hanya where they would like keep them in their homes to ward off evil spirits. Because there's certain iterations of the one mask that display different.
Well, like the original story is that's like the original. It's like a
what do they call
like
it?
a folklore.
Folktale? Yeah,
like a
folklore.
And then it eventually became where they would keep the mask to ward off evil spirits, and it would be like a good luck charm at some point.
Wow. So you boys obviously cling to your faith very closely.
Of course.
And you're two very I've got two very Christian people either side of me, not just by name but nature. But so the idea of foreign superstition or whatnot, that doesn't toy with your idea of faith.
Our pastor kind of had the same question for us when we first talked to him. He's like, "What is that about? What is this?"
It's more so like It's the same concept of why you see a lot of people won't let say they got a 13 or 14-year-old son at home, they won't let them play a game like Grand Theft Auto. Why? Okay, they don't want them to play a game where they steal cars, kill people, sell drugs, like all this stuff.
This is encouraged to complete the levels and stuff like that.
Exactly,
that's part of it.
And that's the same concept though. It's like looking at looking at this doesn't make me want to go and believe and do what they did the same way playing Grand Theft Auto doesn't make me want to go steal cars and kill people.
I know. Trust me, I'll never be Mr. Moral Superiority, and I'm not someone who says that you shouldn't play a video game like Grand Theft Auto. But it just doesn't appeal to me, and therefore.
Oh yeah, of course.
And at the end of the day, it's just what you think is cool and what you like, and same thing with like women. We've talked about before with music. If you can listen to whatever you want, but you don't have to
let it influence you
and live and breathe what that music is.
It's quite often funny to me that that so many people in the Western world, I mean, talking about, when I say the Western world, obviously that's England, America, all of these Western style countries, who will get lettering or Chinese or Japanese for that matter, writing on them. To say, faith or whatever it is, or like courage or strength or some moral virtue. And it's interesting to me because I very much doubt that they've actually fact-checked these things.
And make sure it says
well, so there was
could just say washing machine. Nobody knows.
There was a big one that went around a couple of years ago. Ariana Grande got, I believe it was her, got Japanese lettering tattooed on her. I think it was supposed to stand for like... love, joy, and happiness or something like that. And when someone translated it and actually like broke it down, it ended up meaning like Korean barbecue spot or something like that. Like it was insane.
Yeah,
but like it actually happened, and I was like, why would you go get that tattoo?
To me, that's a better tattoo anyway.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Korean barbecue.
I think that's funnier because it's on a celebrity as well. I don't know why.
Even better.
Well, celebrities are notorious for having some of the worst tattoos.
Oh yeah, well, particularly in this day and age where you can, I mean, you and I were talking about like stylish rock and roll stars the other day. That's not really the case in the modern day charts.
We don't really have too many.
You could look like honestly, you could look like a bloody scarecrow these days, and you can get away with being a rapper. They often say that they look like scribbled on like sort of school desks, don't they? Because their tattoos
everywhere.
I mean, yeah, I've got nothing against facial tattoos personally,
right. Yeah,
but
of course.
It's tacky. They look like
the
sketches.
way that they do
They
it.
look like scribbles and sketches.
Well, that's because a lot of them, especially when it comes to rappers, are tattoos they got even before they got famous. Some of them are gang related. Some of them are gel tattoos. So it's not from a artist. You know what I mean?
It's not from like a I want it standpoint. It's more of like a I kind of have to standpoint.
But every time I turn around and have a look at today's charts, you know what I mean? Be it in England or America, there's usually some have-a-go rapper who's called on a little sketch or something like that, and it looks like a sketchbook. So,
but see, like I mean, like with style and stuff, I think as far as rock and roll goes, at least style peaked in the 70s and 80s. Like they were
90s too.
That nobody dressed like them. With the
I think the 90s turned it on its head a little bit because there was the introduction of a sort of more grungy look, and even sort of even the band on your cap now, even Guns N' Roses sort of adopted that.
I digged it though. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Well, myself and Sonny were speaking about this the other day and saying how a person like Axl Rose, who's like he'd take to the stage and stuff, and I think the point we were trying to make, or at least the point I tried to get across, is that to be a real rock and roll style icon, you have to have the balls and the backbone to do something that if the ordinary man wore that at Walmart, you think he was a complete dork.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yet, the man on stage wearing that is basically saying, well, here's your new style.
Yeah.
If you come onto the stage in, what was it we were saying, tight jean shorts.
He literally wore white spandex like booty shorts.
Right, with a oversized t-shirt that says "Nobody knows I'm a lesbian" on it.
Yeah, it would be like a crop top. Yeah,
and
dressed like a modern day white woman.
Yeah,
literally. There you have it, right?
Literally.
But yeah, sorry, we've gone way off topic.
No, I mean that's what it's all about. But okay, so to follow that up, you've been in numerous bands.
Yes.
Throughout the course of your lifetime now.
Yes.
One of which was, I would say, pretty successful, very successful. How did it feel to reach a point in music that majority of the people who do music will never reach, and B, a point that you probably never thought you'd reach?
Absolutely never thought we'd get the band off the ground. And then again, I'm not speaking. We might have been a touring band, but it's not as if we were supernova. We certainly weren't a household name. Everything we ever made was in the underground. However, we definitely hit and reached heights that I never thought possible. Never, not even I didn't dream that I was going to be playing a different city in different countries on different nights, and that was to answer your question. First of all, no ego came with it, not whatsoever. Well, not from my part, and certainly not from my band. The co-founder of the band, Ed. You've both met Ed. You both,
Yeah.
And I don't know. Sometimes I poke at Ed for ego and things like that, but I know he only means it in jest and things like that.
Yeah.
He's he can be an arrogant sod at times, but it's not really in his soul or his nature. That's just how he is. I love him regardless. Mm-hmm. He just knows his worth, and that's good. And that's good for him. But in terms of the way I saw the band, I counted my blessings every single night we arrived in a new place. So him and I started our very first band in school, and that was called Necronomicon, and we were both... So him and I actually met through Boy Scouts. We were in the Cub Scouts when we were about 9 years old. And then we ended up going to the same secondary school, and when we were there, we used to use we used to call it the quad, I suppose.
We call it the quad.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, really?
It's like a big open area in between like different parts of the school.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had one too. Yeah.
That's cool that I don't have to translate that one. I really thought that was.
That's where all our fights took place.
Every time.
Okay, so there was an after-school skateboarding club, and him and I used to go to that.
We never had one of those.
And so, one of our design teachers decided that he wasn't over the hill. And he brought along a big old longboard with him and decided he was going to start a skateboarding club for us young lads. Yeah, he was so uncool that I thought he was the coolest person ever.
Yeah.
Right.
He was so ginger. Even more ginger than this ginger.
That's pretty ginger.
He had a big old ginger goatee, and he would turn up in his Gola trainers or like some really naff like sort of trainer make or whatever and be like, all right then boys, let's do it, let's go. Radical to the maximum, brother. So... he was cool, Mr. Curtis.
You mentioned the other day, like y'all had the school that me and Christian went to, like we had a band class or like in a band teacher and everything, but like you were talking about it, like your band teacher would go and buy like full blown drum kits, guitars.
Yes.
See, we don't. We
So,
get none of that.
We had like orchestra.
Because I will show this to a few of my old school teachers. So Richard, Sarah, Claire, these people taught me, and you will probably know Linda Norton, who ran the music department, and she spent the budget very well. There would be drum kits that came in, there would be keyboards, basses, guitars, and these were at the use and disposal of all of the pupils. Mm-hmm. And so we could go in, and as long as we treated that, you signed in and out, you registered your use of that instrument and whatnot, and you took care of it. Mm-hmm. And there was a paper trail at least. If somebody messed up that instrument, we knew who it was then. But no, we treated it all with super respect, and we spent hours after school just rehearsing and jamming, and that's how that first band came about.
That's cool.
See, we never got that. Like all we got was like trumpets. You'd have the drums that they wear, but like trumpets, clarinets, and maybe a saxophone, but never like a drum kit, guitars, keyboards.
Which I think that might be a U.S. thing.
And it may be.
I mean, if you think of school band throughout the United States, almost everybody, they either played like clarinet or
we didn't have like an actual music class where they taught music. It was more of like if you wanted to do band, then you were in the band and you would come out when the football team does and stuff
Let
like
me
that.
just get an understanding of what you're trying to tell me, lads. Is this an extracurricular thing? If you wanted to do music, was it outside of your school curriculum?
No.
No.
Well, yes.
It was.
It was outside of the curriculum. We didn't have to do band.
But the band class that you would take if you wanted to sign up for band was during the day.
Well, no, sometimes it would have to be after school, remember? They would have after school practice.
Sometimes it would, but they actually had like because we called them elective classes.
Yep.
We had remember like when I was
art.
in 9th grade, I want to say there was a home ec class. They did away with it pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, I took home ec.
But then there was art, there was band.
I don't remember home ec.
There was like I think sports training might have been
I
one.
did that athletic training.
Athletic training.
Yeah.
So we were taught. I don't know how the American school system works. We were taught 5 classes a day, and these classes were called periods. So you had period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It was periods for us in middle school, and then once we got to high school, it turned to blocks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So music would be one of those 5 periods that you were taught during the day. However, if you wanted to stay on after school and do the after school music club, that's where you could form a group, that you could get together with like-minded musicians and form a band. We were 14 at the time, so we weren't gifted musicians or anything. We were still picking up the craft as we went. But that's how that first band came about. Then from there, we managed to play a few clubs around our town, around Reading.
Oh, that's cool.
And a couple of the neighbouring towns, but it didn't go. We weren't supernova. It didn't really. The touch paper never really lit, and therefore the second group I was with, we again played our town and the surrounding towns, and it was really good fun. I loved playing with those musicians. That's probably a band where I learned. Those first 2 groups that I was in, I learned so much more about how to play the guitar because I was never given a lesson, unless you count the musicians that were around me at the time. They were just, oh, we'll try this lick or see what, you know, and they were giving me techniques. And I always feel like with anything that you learn, you need to source from a sort of rich pool of influences.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Before you really get a grasp of it.
Yep.
And then when you get your own grasp of it, you're running, you're flying, you're off the runway, and that's fine. That second band, I was playing with people who were really good fun, and the shows were chaotic. It was called National Chaos, that second band, and it was just incredibly good fun, and the crowds always turned out for us, but only locally. And then we get to Strike Offensive, which is the band that really, when I say took off, I don't want you to think we're Guns N' Roses, but when we took off, that was the band where, right, boys, grab the gear, we're going to sit on a coach now for 14 hours, and our next show is 600 miles from home. And that was when it really felt like, oh boy. It didn't feel like we were making it. It already felt to me as if we had. Because the cap on where I thought we were going to go with any band that I was in was my town. And I thought I'd already achieved what I was setting out to do. So then when we get bookings in Scotland, and you have to leave England to just cross the border and go and play a show in Glasgow or something, it was, oh boy.
On the road.
Yeah, on the road with the boys, and you have the gear with you, and you feel the fatigue and that sort of the tiredness, and you have to be there for sound check at a certain time. The partying afterwards was absolutely ludicrous. It was mayhem, and so that was when I felt like we really made it. So
living the rock star dream.
Well, living a rock star dream, maybe not. I mean, I don't know actually. Most of the hotel rooms. Oh my gosh! If I should even tell you some of the things we did to hotel rooms, you'd probably think less of me. But Ed was the main perpetrator. He'd always grab a fire extinguisher off the wall and let it off in my face. So I'd have to.
So dangerous.
I know. And I had a glossy white beard, from the fire extinguisher, and then of course. Then, I mean, I showed you boys the clip recently of him throwing the empty vodka bottle at my head.
Yeah.
So I had to boot him up the keister. And
man.
we caused some havoc in these places. And I remember once when we were on the coach coming back down home from Scotland, and the phone rang, and none of us wanted to take the call because it was from the hotel, and we all knew what this meant, right? It was like hot potato. We were passing this phone round until one of us was going to just man up and take the call. Ed took the call. And Ed was looking at us, and his eyes gradually widened as he took the call. And he was like, and he put his hand over the receiver, and he said, boys, the lady on this phone is so angry that she's calm again. She's gone past the point of yelling. She's gone back into like shaking calm. Like that's how angry she was. And it was like, okay, so we've seen what you've done to the hotel room. This is at least £240 worth of damages that you'll need to pay. And it was kind of like, well, we only kind of made 270 from the whole experience.
Oh, no.
So it was like, well, we lost more or less every penny that we made up there, but we had to pay off the damages. So yes, silly cretins, that's what we were. Immature little boys. And I tell you something, I'd do it all over again tomorrow.
Okay. I mean, that's fair enough.
Oh, I loved it.
All in good fun. So between singing, playing guitar, and here recently you said that you played the drums before.
Yeah.
which do you enjoy the most? I feel like we know the
I feel
answer,
like I know the answer.
but
Out of all of them, I think most people would answer the question with that they enjoy singing most, because that's the. I often found that singers were kind of 10 a penny, and if you meet the right person, they'll know how to sing and project their voice in a way that makes them feel good, and that's great. And I really do get enjoyment from it. Don't get me wrong. Playing the drums is good fun, but I'm not particularly good. I'm moderate at best. So I mean, it's good. It's good fun. I would never turn it down. But for me, I think the feeling of playing a guitar live on stage is absolutely sends shivers through me, and it's just one of those things. If you're going to be tacky about it, you're going to be cheesy. You're going to say it's a calling or whatever. But it definitely is something that I've found in my life that it improves my quality of life. If it wasn't there, it would leave a massive hole in my enjoyment and what I found fun about life.
yeah.
Truly, genuinely, truly, playing a guitar just gives me more joy than the other two things.
I mean, I figured.
Yeah. Well, you two boys are picking up the guitars now as well, so
We're getting there.
I mean, so your dad has always played. I mean,
Always.
and I just saw for myself the work that he's put into that studio is impressive. Because
yeah.
I was here for the gender reveal, and when I went in there, it looked completely different.
Oh, yeah,
it
of
looked
course.
like a shed.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
go in there now, and it's a full-blown studio. You've got a vocal booth, a drum kit, basses, acoustic guitars, electric guitars. It's a full setup in there, and it looks incredible. So I mean, that's just sort of. I just think it provides not meaning to life or whatever, but it improves your quality of life to have something like that.
Of course. Oh, he loves it. He's in there every night. That's like his main cave now.
Literally.
That's where he spends all of his time is in that studio.
I wouldn't leave it.
Well, so he does
I'd
it.
put a padlock on the door.
Literally, if I know I'm going over there and I need to talk to my dad or see my dad, I just walk over there and then straight to his studio. I know where he's gonna be.
So in terms of you two now picking up guitars, because I know I'm your guest here, but I felt like the focal point on the last podcast so much about me, and I want you two boys to actually speak up.
Okay.
But I know that you're about to get a guitar. Am I right?
Oh, I have two.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I forgot to tell you, but he actually has an electric.
I didn't even realize this.
I didn't know he
Dean.
had an electric
Yeah.
till
Oh,
like
yeah,
2
so-
weeks ago.
But and then Sonny will get a guitar. I
Well, he
believe.
has his electric. He has his Les Paul.
But I know I've played on both his electric guitars, but he'll get his acoustic guitar for your birthday, right?
I'm hoping.
And then, well, I reckon it's going to happen. So to continue on a point, your father has always played the guitar, and you've owned those two guitars for a while. So obviously, you boys have grown up around guitar culture,
Yes.
and
Oh, yeah.
you've always been into rock and roll music and stuff. But now it seems as if with you getting a new guitar, with Sonny getting a new guitar, seems like you want to sort of maybe pick it up, shift it into the next gear. I just wanted to hear from you boys about that.
Well, like I've always, I tried to learn when I was younger. I don't remember the exact age, but I remember I had a guitar. My dad bought me a blue acoustic. It was a Lerner guitar, so it was the smaller ones with shorter
Yeah,
necks and all.
shorter neck.
Did you have a 3/4 length?
Probably, yeah.
something like that. And I remember I started trying to learn. I learned some stuff like he calls it Civil War, but that song's not Civil War.
Yeah.
But, like, it's a little real easy one. Just I'll show it to you later. And then I learned Animal I Become on my electric by myself. But I got to the point where I kept trying to learn from my dad. And me being young, maybe it was probably a big part. I don't really remember. But I remember he would just get frustrated trying to teach me. And then eventually, like, it just kind of, me being younger, interests change so quickly. It's hard to stay locked in on one thing. And then now that I'm older, it was always something I meant to learn. Even if I don't become like great at it. Like, I don't have to get at my dad's level. But, if I learn a little bit here and there, I can just pick up and play a little bit.
Thing is about guitar, it is all about patience, and the idea.
Yes.
The thing is, teaching it can be easily as frustrating as picking it
Of
up.
course.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
because once you've got a grasp of it, trying to
Explain it to somebody.
explain how you got a grasp of it to somebody else is going to be tricky.
Of course.
And you're going to need so much patience, and to watch them fail again and again like you did.
Yes.
And I won't even pretend that I was very good when I began. In fact, I stood in front of a mirror with a guitar strapped around me, just wishing that I was good, and
Yeah.
just thinking, well, one day this thing will make a sound that I'll be happy with.
Yeah.
And not having a teacher per se was a big part of that, because I had to teach myself what was right, what was wrong. You pick up terrible habits if you teach yourself, and you have to unlearn those habits.
Well, that's what my dad did. My dad had to learn from books and stuff.
Yeah. But then Sonny.
And well, I mean, I think I attempted to learn when my dad bought my first one. which was that Fender. And then after, again, being young, after about 2 months, I was like, all right, this is cool, but video games are cooler.
Yep.
Easier to learn.
Yep.
I'll play video games.
The path of least resistance.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Because-
as a kid too, I feel like you don't have that same patience as when you get
Oh,
older.
for sure. I mean, it's much easier to pick up and
And-
play a video game and be successful at it.
And then, like, the thing is like,
Much more payoff with an instrument.
I mean, don't get me wrong. My family's well off now. But when I first got that guitar, I was like, okay, I want to learn. Like, this is what I want to do. You know, I'd grown up around rock culture my whole life. Now I want to learn. We didn't have the money for lessons, and my dad knows how to play no instrument, none, zero. Like, it was just because my dad growing up, it was like, you get up, you go to work, you come home, you sleep, you get up, you go to work.
Yeah,
That's
I've
it.
heard your dad's singing voice.
Yeah.
And I will just say this. I really like you, Chris.
But so
I really do. I mean, honestly, I respect you. You've done some very, very nice things for me. And you can really sing, boy.
But like, we didn't have money for lessons, so it was like, all right, like, go home and learn. And then, but YouTube was like kind of just taking off around that time, so there wasn't like all these people on YouTube like, hey, here's how you can do this and do this and do this.
Even then, some YouTube, like what I've seen, even now with a lot of YouTube videos, they're just like, yeah, it's just these chords. And then now you just do it.
No
And it's
explanation.
Like, whoa, hold on.
And then so it was like, okay, I'll figure it out. And then after about 2 months of pain, like ear bleeding noise, because he bought an amp for me too. So like that was his first mistake. Because then it was like, go home, volume 10, distortion 10.
Yeah.
And you know, I had the whammy bar, so I'd just be in my room. And after 2 months of it, I was just like, this sucks. And then, so I put it down. And then, I don't know, I'd say me and Garrett became friends probably like 5 or 6 years ago. And then...
Now, Garrett is this mate of yours, and you've both spoken highly of him.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Garrett. I don't know if does he watch?
Probably not.
probably not, but maybe he will.
Well, apparently he's your guitar playing buddy who you, you
yeah,
go to.
yeah,
for-
he can
He's
play.
very good, yeah.
And so
good.
he called me, and it was this was, I don't remember what day it was, but he come over to my house or something, and I had the Fender. It was sitting in a corner, and he was like, "Pick it up." And so I was like, "All right, whatever." And the first thing he taught me was the intro to Enter Sandman.
Yeah.
And within like an hour, I picked it up. I was like, okay, not that bad. So then I kind of got a little into it, and then, but I couldn't get past Enter Sandman. And then I learned like 2 chords, and I was like, all right. Well, then on a Saturday, he calls me. He's like, hey, I need to go get new strings and some other stuff. Do you want to go? I was like, sure. I was like, I'm not buying anything. I'm not. So we go to Guitar Center. Walking around, we're looking, right? Slash being the guitar god that he is, right? I'm like, and then just a wall. Because I don't know if you've been in Guitar Center recently, but when I went 2 weeks ago to look at acoustics, the selection is way less than what it used to be. Like, they used to have Gibson galore on the wall.
Yeah, but I'm picturing your young eyes staring up at this wall of guitars and just seeing a sunburst SG and just thinking, it's got to be mine.
Well, and so I wasn't even young. I think I was 20. 20? I don't think I was 21 yet. I was either 19 or 20. We went, and...
Of course, no, not young at that age.
No.
Not from the lofty heights of the age of 20.
Sorry. We already had the new trailer. So I was 21. We went, and as I'm looking up at the wall, right, they had the Tobacco Burst, they had the November Rain style look, they had the gold top and all this. And obviously I one, couldn't afford a Gibson, 2, not paying that much when I don't know how to play like that. And then so I get down to the Epiphones and I'm looking, they had like a blue, a purple, and then there it was, just big old sweet tea burst. I was like, ooh. So I pick it up and I was messing with it. And then the guy comes up, and this is the guy sold me on it, but he was like, we do financing. And at the time, my credit was it wasn't bad, but it was low, and I needed ways to build. So I was like, all right, what do you do, like a year interest free? He was like, let me check your credit. So he goes and pulls my credit, and he's like, we can do 4 years no interest. And I was like, what would my payments be? He was like, $16 a month. I was like, sold. So I brought it home. and then attempted to learn a couple things, got aggravated, put it down for probably like a year and a half, and was like, that was the biggest waste of money I've ever spent in my life. And then I really didn't start learning probably until about 6 to 8 months ago. About the time you started coming around and teaching and doing some stuff, and I was just picking up, and then
But it's been gradual. I mean, even the stuff I've shown you has been like, it's been a bit by bit, you know.
Well, you showed me Knocking on Heaven's Door, and I got that one down fairly quickly.
I think your mate Garrett, when he showed you Enter Sandman, that was a good move because there's not even a chord shape in it. There's just 4 notes.
Yeah.
There's don't, and therefore there's only 3 notes to play.
Yeah,
There's only 3 or 4 notes to play.
And it's it's easy moving down the neck, but then after Knocking on Heaven's Door, I was like,
chord shapes will either defeat you at the first
or
gate,
they'll shape you.
or well, exactly right. Well, once you pick them up, you're flying, and then you know.
And then that was it. And I just started going through the chords, C, D.
So I think I was saying to you the other day, if somebody took my ability to sing and play guitar simultaneously, if they took that away from me now, I'm not sure I'd even bother trying to learn it again, because it was like I had to pull my hair out so bad to do it in the first place, and spend years agonizing over the idea that I couldn't do it. You know, there's people who pick things up naturally, and you look at them and just say, well, they're a natural. And then there's other people who have to graft and graft and graft, and finally they pick it up.
Yeah.
I'm the latter.
Yeah.
So, you know, if someone took those abilities away from me now, I'd be like, oh, I don't know, I'll get into fishing. you know what I mean?
But it's been fun now, and it's been fun because like now when I come over here, if it's just me and Christian, like we'll go back there, we'll mess around with it for a little bit, and then we'll go do something else, and we might mess around a little bit more. And it's definitely a lot more fun now than it used to be.
Well, it seems like there's going to be so many guitarists on the block, because we've got Christian's dad, we've got Christian, we've got myself, we've got you, your brother wants a guitar. I mean, you know.
Paul wants to get in, huh?
He was like,
well, a custom.
let me tell you what he said.
Custom body Gibson.
So he says, I want a guitar. I said, okay. I said, I'll make you a deal. So because obviously you can't afford nothing too crazy. So I'd already been looking at these guitar kits online, because I was like, I'd like to paint one myself and build it and see how it goes. I was like, if you split the cost with me and help me buy the paint, the body, and everything, I'll paint it, build it, and everything, and then you can keep it. And I was like, well, what are you wanting out of it? What do you want to learn? He was like, Comfortably Numb solo is pretty cool. I was like, okay. What a way to start.
Well, yes. What a way to immediately fail.
Literally. I was like, Paul, you're not going to achieve that.
I like that he's aiming high.
I don't.
Because the Comfortably Numb solo, David Gilmour, by the way, if anyone's familiar with it, but it's to pull that off requires you to be David Gilmour.
Yeah, literally. So when he said that, I'm looking at him like, "Are you an idiot?" Like little, and he was like, "What, man? It's cool." And I was like, "Yeah, it's cool." I was like, "But you got to learn everything else first." And then he was like, "Nah."
No, really, there's a lot of schooling that goes into it before you even remotely sound good. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that more or less answers your question and rounds us off.
Yeah, it's been fun, and I think it'll continue to be fun. The more that we learn and pick up, and might start doing some good old campfire songs.
See, isn't it interesting? We've got no willing drummers, no willing bassists, and nobody who really wants to take
Christian's
up the
quite the stud on a drum kit now.
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Don't let him lie to
So
you.
my dad was like, oh my God. As soon as I brought up guitar, he was like, why don't you start playing drums again? You played drums when you were younger. Play drums. I was like, I don't want to play drums. I want to play guitar.
I was like myself. I've got a rudimentary grasp of the instrument. You know what I mean? Like I can keep.
Well, that's
keep
how
time.
it was when I was younger. I could keep a beat and
I can switch rhythms up if needs be. But
even then when I was younger, I could.
But
if
you put me behind a band and said you play drums now,
and you matched the tempo.
Yeah,
no way, bro.
I'm not sure I'd trust myself.
But
Yeah.
That's what my dad was like. Just learn drums. You were good at it when you were younger. You were natural. And I was like, I don't think it's gonna go well anymore, my friend.
I think people look down their nose at the idea of the drummer. The role of a drummer really is the
heart of the song.
It's the backbone of the music.
Yeah.
It's the heart of the band. That's it right there.
Like guitar solos are great, but what do you have in the background of that guitar solo? A nice steady drum, and then if you get into the greats, right, like John Bonham, and Danny Carey, and
You
all
two boys were speaking about some of the greats. Some Some of the real great. Sorry, are we boring you?
No, sorry, I get distracted.
It's the fish.
Yeah.
Okay.
They move and they catch his attention.
How many joints did he have today?
Quite a few.
So, no. But you were talking about some of the greats behind a drum kit. He mentioned Danny Carey there. I would also add Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater. I mean, I know he's a bit overbooked. He's a bit overblown and a bit flash.
So is I think Danny Carey is too.
Like 22-piece kit on stage.
Yeah,
That's
it's
insane.
ridiculous.
So are you even going to play all of these like drums and cymbals at any given time?
At that point, dude, my brain would be like mashed potatoes.
I would add Ginger Baker from Cream. I would add Keith Moon.
I need you to see my Uncle Mike. He's a drummer.
Okay.
And he was kind of the reason why I started, because I tried to learn guitar first. Yeah, it didn't go too well because I was young, whatever.
But he
Uncle
drummed
Mike,
for a hobby, or he actually drummed in a band?
Oh, he won best drummer in, I don't remember if it was state or if it was in region or whatever it was, but he won like a drumming competition.
Nice.
And he is legit. Like, he can double bass pedal, do all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, he's awesome. My dad's supposed to be trying to get him to come over and play with him not too long.
See, another reason I think that drumming is sort of overlooked is because that sense of okay, you've got to have a sense of rhythm, but the sense of coordination.
Yes.
Yeah.
You really need all of your limbs in
Well,
coordination.
that's where I
with
always
each other.
struggled, right? Was like mixing my feet, and then double bass, I could never learn that. That's something I always wanted to learn when I was playing, but I could never figure it out.
That one didn't trouble me too much.
Really, you can do the double bass stuff? Oof, I never could.
It's. I think but for me, it's difficult to switch between time signatures, and that sort of thing is very. I'd quite easily lose myself doing that, and therefore I just couldn't keep a grasp of it. Whereas with guitar, it doesn't have to be 4/4 timing, but I feel like guitar is a little bit more lawless than drums. You can really. Once you open it up, you can just fly and just.
But then you can always bring it back down real nice and easy.
Of course, it's not as contained as a drum sound needs to be quite punchy and contained for the most part, right?
Yes.
Of course, there's probably drummers out there who's thinking, "What? My drumming isn't contained," but for the most part, it will probably need to be as contained as can be, just to give that drive and the backbone to the song.
Yep.
Whereas a guitar, I feel like, is a lot more of a lawless instrument, a bit like the voice. You can take the voice in any given direction, really, and just completely open up. And what we were talking about the other day, when a guitar hero, like a rock and roll guitar hero, or a rock and roll singer, or heavy metal singer, or whatever genre it may be, even a pop singer, when they really use their instrument, whether that be their voice or their guitar, to open up and just absolutely pop the lid off and just go for it, and just soar with it. You know what I mean? That's a lawless instrument right there. It just goes where it wants to.
Like Freddie Mercury or Elton John.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or many other gay English men. George
Both
Michael,
of them are gay. It's not the route I was going.
My favorite gay Englishman.
Yes. That's why he offered me his fist.
Okay, so
Nice.
of all the songs you've written,
Yes.
which I don't even know the names of, which is your favorite? And are there any, like, now in your life that you look back and you just don't care for?
Oh, geez, I wrote so many of them with Ed that I can only have co-writing credits. So the Level the Slaying Field was the big Strike Offensive song. That was the one with it had a nice melodic build up, a sense of intro. Then we got heavy. It thrashed for a while. We had a breakdown section, and then it led to the end of our set. But I couldn't take writing credit for it alone because Ed helped me write that song.
So that's your favorite?
It was a fan favorite, but then we had a without sounding like a wanker, we did have a couple of those. We had quite a few songs that when we announced them, our audience was very pleased to hear them. So alone on acoustic guitar and stuff like that, I noodle about and I write all sorts of things, usually directionless songs, things that here and there. I wrote one called Keeping Countenance on the acoustic guitar, and I liked that one, and I kept that from about 2013 onwards, and whenever I play it to people, they tend to like it. However, with Strike Offensive, I would say there were three. There was Leave You Blank, which was our set opener. I wrote most of, and it was a really nice set opener because it whipped the crowd into a frenzy. everyone was singing the lyrics back to us because it had some hooks. It was catchy. It wasn't just me roaring into a microphone. There was Trioxic, which Ed mainly wrote, but I contributed towards, which was another big fan favourite. And Ed, if you're watching this, which I'm sure you are, or will do at some point, I'll give you most of the credit for that one. We shared vocal duties on that song, and that was a real fun one to play, and the crowd responded so well to it. But I would say Level the Slaying Field for me was the one I had most of the hand in the writing of, which was a real... If you see the footage on YouTube now of wherever we play that song, whether it be Leeds, Glasgow, or London, wherever it may be, that one, not only did it elicit a really strong crowd response, I was just very proud to have written most of that song. But I can't attribute all of it to me. Ed Hopkins, you take some writing credit as well.
Okay. So talking about shows, of all the shows you've done, is there one specific standout from the rest that was just a million times better than any other show?
Yeah, Thrash Bash 2. It was a festival. And that show, for me, if you ask the other boys, I think they'd give you a different answer. I think all of us would give a different answer. But for me, that was the one where everything clicked. Everything was just as smooth as butter, and everything was cohesive. As far as my contributions to that gig, I felt like my fingers were gliding across the fretboard. I wasn't missing a note. I could hear myself, the monitors, and the sound was really good. The crowd was insane. We had so many stage divers come up, and myself and Ed had to shove them back off the stage. And really, honestly. And the after party was absolutely mental. And it was the furthest show away from home that we'd played at that time. So, like I say, about 600 miles away from home. Long way from home. And we were, I don't know, it gave us a tiny spark of a feeling of what it might be like to be a rock and roll star, because we were playing thrash metal to an audience that were baying for it in a country that wasn't ours. Might border on it, but that's like America borders on Mexico. If you played a gig in Mexico, you're still in a foreign land.
That's crazy.
It might be South America, but it's not the United States of America.
Right, yeah, of course.
So yeah, it was that gig for me stood out so much, and it's particularly because afterwards, this is one of my favourite tiny little anecdotes. This kid came up. He must have been about 16, and we weren't much older than you boys. I mean, we must have been 23 at the time we played the show, 24. And this kid of about 16 came up, and he had a bullet belt around his waist, which I must have had about 6-7 bullets on it, because he was just emaciated. He looked like he needed a burger. And he came up, and his voice had barely broken, and he wanted us to sign the ticket. And I've still got a photo of that ticket, actually. He came up with a Glasgow Thrash Bash ticket, and he said, will you sign it? I remember looking at Ed and looking at the other boys and just going, you don't want my signature. Who wants my signature? The bank. Like, nobody has asked me ever for my autograph. Not once. The most people come up and ask me for after we've played a show is like £1 so they can go and get a drink. You know what I mean? Like nobody has ever asked me to sign something ever. So I looked at Ed, and Ed looked at me, and it was kind of like, oh, if you've got a pen, well, okay, fine. So I just had to write "boo" on this ticket. I didn't know how to do it. We didn't have a signature.
Yeah,
we didn't. Of course, we didn't practice it. So I just put "boo" on the ticket, and Ed wrote Ed, and we handed the ticket back, and I was just sort of like, does that mean we've made it? I don't know.
Heck yeah, dude.
If somebody asked for my autograph,
I don't know how to react.
I'd be kind of on cloud nine.
Well, you say cloud nine. It was a point of almost embarrassment for me, because I just didn't know how to react. It was too much for me.
Yeah. First time it happened.
If you saw the dungeon in which we played this gig, it was some underground.
Dungeon's crazy.
Yeah, but it was some underground venue, like a beer keller. You know what I mean? And it was, although the audience was there and it was jam packed, and we had a good few hundred in attendance and whatnot, it didn't feel like time for somebody to come up and go, please, sir, could you sign my
ticket?
Yeah. Oh gosh.
So, and sticking on the show topic, why is it that you and Ed never formed a Billy Joel cover band?
This is an in-joke, so your viewers won't get this. We played a gig in a rough town, in a rough part of the town, Bracknell, the William Twig. shout out. I'm not sure of the people. You know what? Actually, I did send the last podcast out to the people who put that show on for us.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice.
hi, how's it going? But yes, and we played there, and they had to hide the pool cues, and they put them behind the bar, just because they thought there would be such a visceral reaction to a Strike Offensive gig in that part of town.
Oh, wow.
Yes, because they thought there was going to be a physical backlash
Right, of course,
against
yeah.
us. Because the previous band had come on, and they'd played country classics or folk music or pop hits or whatever, and we came on, and we, at that time, we like no idea why we had that booking. Why were we booked to play here after that band to this crowd? Mm-hmm. And of course we had to. So we set up, and I was physically shivering during the sound check, just looking out on the crowd, just thinking we might not survive this. It was a rough-looking crowd. It's like us playing Jules, right? And just saying, "Well, here's some thrash metal for y'all."
There you go. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you just gunshot in the background. So I shouldn't say that in today's climate, but anyway, what was I going to say? So yeah, somebody heckled us, and they said, "Do you know any Billy Joel?" And when I said, "No, sir, we don't know any Billy Joel." And but thankfully, that heckler turned his opinion around. So after we did a song, he decided to tell me, "Cook it up, son," and hopefully we cooked it up.
So the heckler that said that, was his name Milky Derek?
Was his name Milky Derek?
Yeah.
Oh, man, we got to walk out. This is our first podcast of a walkout.
It's not a walkout. It's not a walkout.
Oh, man.
It's just he told me I cursed too much on the last podcast, and it was
so now you
because
just gotta get it
it was
out, yeah.
because of a man. It's a loose description of a person, a man called Paul Hill, and you know who you are, and you know how you're infiltrating this podcast here. I will say this: I won't curse. But there is no such person as Milky Derek. So I'm having a really good time with these boys. I know, what's that? Blink 3 times if I'm being held hostage. Oh, no, really, I'm having a good time with them. Honest, I mean it.
Okay, so before we move into the keep 5, drop 5s, we have...
No, before you do that.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've got some notes myself, lads, and I don't
do
want
it.
to take up too much time with it.
No, that's fine.
But how about, we're going to shift. Wait, how about we
Boo
shift?
is now taking over the podcast.
Right.
Welcome to the Brohannya podcast.
Ooh, I like that. That was a good sound
There
to
you
it.
go, right? Just take the R out and add another O. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Brohannya podcast. I'd like to introduce my esteemed guests here. Was Mr. Phil Osophy and Mr. Jim at Membership. Sorry? That's not very accurate, is it?
No, we're
Sorry, no. I'll use their correct names. Sorry, this is Mr. Christian Handbook and Mr. Sunny Days. Anyway. Now, we'd like to play around.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot. He told me on the way over here, Boo come up with a game for us.
Let's go.
It's
Yeah,
a
this
little
will
bit of a
be
game. I know because you like to see out the podcast with the keep and drop 5 game. So I wanted the rules to be slightly different. So,
Sure.
Yeah. So let's talk philosophy,
Okay.
lads. Cubism is a corruption of the Impressionist ideology. I'd like you to discuss this and use citations for your viewpoints.
Well, so here's the thing about Cuba.
No. Sorry, no. Obviously, I'm joking. No, we'll do a quick fire round. So,
Okay.
all right, boys. True or false? All midgets have night vision.
That's true.
True?
That's 100%
Definitely
true.
true.
It is true. There we go. All right, well, you both win a point. No. I'm joking. I'm completely joking. Of course I am. Okay, so
I don't think so. You have to say little people.
actually, yeah, it's probably politically incorrect, and I'm so sorry. I have to apologise because my
Yes.
wife is a midget. She's,
A little person.
no, she's 5'6", but.
Oh my God, I'm crying.
No. Okay.
Bleep that later.
Oh man.
I'm sorry. Don't make you cry. I'm sorry. No, lads. Here we go.
All right.
Let me get. I've got all my joking out of the way now, and now we're going for a game that I like to call England or America. It's a very simple name. I didn't really have the wit to come up with anything cleverer than this. However, this was spurred on by the idea that recently I discovered that Sonny Cochran, the man sat here to my left, thought that Led Zeppelin were American. And he thought Eric Clapton was an American. And it led me to believe that...
He's Australian.
No. It led me to believe that joke is dead. It also led me to believe that that sadly, something that's ingrained ignorantly into American culture is that anything that you favour or you find is good, you think is from your land. And therefore...
The only thing that doesn't apply to that is James Bond.
So these... That's what I kept. Well, thank you.
At least y'all got him down.
Yeah, so at least give us that one.
Yeah.
But no. I've mixed. What I did here before I jotted these down is I've mixed them. This is a mixed bag. They won't come to you in any order.
Okay.
However, the rules of this game are very simple. So you two, I'll be keeping score, and I would like to see which points. You don't have to agree with each other, of course. You just give us separate answers. But what I'd like you to do is to answer me where you think these things originated, and I will. There will be either true or false.
So it's a 50-50.
Yeah.
It's 50-50, and I'll keep score.
So when in doubt, pick true.
No, it's not true or false. It is either country.
When in doubt, pick America, because all great things come from America.
That's right.
There we go. See, your ignorance will probably lose you the game, but here we go. So, we'll start off easy. So, question 1. Apple pie originated in England or America?
America.
You are both wrong. It's in England. Apple pie was in a...
Actually...
Yes, 15th century cookbook, and was brought to North America in the 17th century by the colonialists.
What?
So when you use the term as American as apple pie,
I'm
afraid it was 2 centuries removed from...
Wow.
Y'all still serve apple pie?
Of course, yeah.
Is it as good as ours?
Well, my mother makes fantastic apple pie, and I won't speak it badly.
Is it made the same as ours? Is what I want to know.
I wouldn't even know. All I'll tell you is that your idea of Mum's apple pie is my idea of Mum's apple pie. We can all just agree.
Okay, so
okay.
So pie. Okay.
That's crazy.
So so 0 points on either standing here. So we'll go to question 2. Tea bags originated in England or America?
England.
Oh, both of you wrong again. It breaks my heart to tell you this, but the tea bag a lady invented it in Milwaukee in 1903. And she took
life's a lie.
She took the idea of, instead of just boiling tea leaves in hot water and having all the sediment and whatnot, to put it in a bag so that you can actually just remove the bag and you'd have the water left with it. This breaks my heart, this one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I have to admit, the tea bag, although I drink tea every day, and it's the only drink that I like more than beer, is tea. And I have to admit that, yes, I've fact-checked this again and again, and a lady from Milwaukee invented the tea bag in 1903.
How do you feel about sweet tea? Ice cold sweet tea.
Yeah, I love it.
Really?
Actually, if we do a hot, exhausting day at work, occasionally Sonny's mother will do us some sweet tea, and it's very nice.
Just be careful, too much of it will make your stomach hurt, make you throw up.
Yeah.
We don't have too much of it. We'll just have a couple.
One glass will almost kill you. It's got so much sugar in it.
Right.
So, okay, number 3, the peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
It's got to be American.
It's American.
Y'all would never do that.
Okay, I threw that in just to fool you, but both of you get a point. That is correct.
Yeah,
America.
Yeah.
And that came about in 1901.
Also, because if it was in Britain, y'all would have called it peanut butter and jam.
Yeah. Look at you.
Well, like, no, I mean, he had to, yeah, there you go. Because you boys needed a point. We're on question 3, 1 point each. So, question 4. Oh, God. A1 steak sauce.
That's
America.
You both said America. England.
No,
What?
No, you can look it up. So a chef called Henderson Brand presented the A1 steak sauce to King George IV and Buckingham Palace. The reason it's called A1 sauce is because of the A1. The A1 is the first road that leads into a motorway in England from Buckingham Palace.
This is a fun game. I like this. I'm learning a lot.
Well, the thing is, if you'd have asked me, I'd have got it wrong. If you'd have asked me where
it
steak
sounds
sauce
American.
originated, I would have said, well, first of all, because it's a steak sauce.
Right.
It's going to be American. And A1, I'd have thought had the American thing about it. But
Yeah.
no, A1 steak sauce is actually from England. So you two, okay, we're question 4, and you two boys stand at 1 point each. Question 5 is, the college graduation march. You know, a piece of music. You go. Na, 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 na,
Talking about like when they're calling you up to the stage and stuff.
na, 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 na. Yeah. Is that piece of music from England or America?
I wish I would.
It sounds English. I'm going England.
I'm gonna say America.
Okay. Now, Christian, I wouldn't have blamed you for saying America simply because it's so affiliated with. But no. Sonny's right here.
So do y'all play that song? For
Not only. It was our national anthem before God Save the King. And
really?
It had lyrics on it, which were the song is called "Land of Hope and Glory." So
interesting.
Land of Hope and Glory, Mother of the Free. But anyway, the Americans took the lyrics away from it, and now your kids graduate to it.
I didn't know Britain.
It's the instrumentation of it sounds English.
Yeah, I would agree, but I just figured since we use it for high school, I figured that.
I think both of you had a good stake in answering that question because you had grounds to answer it the way you did. Anyway, Sonny on 2 points, Christian on 1.
Correct.
So we're at question 6. Chile.
Chile?
Is it England or America?
What kind of chili? Well,
No. We're just talking about chili as in chili con carne, as in chili.
describe chili to me.
A crock pot of chili, the way you would make
Describe
a traditional.
Like, give
chili.
me some ingredients.
Like sausage,
I need to know what's in it.
beans.
We're talking about sausage, beans, and rice.
Sausage, beans, and rice.
You don't put rice in chili.
Okay. So perhaps not sausage, but we're talking about like ground beef, minced beef, and red beans, and just a traditional chili.
There's no way it's English, dude.
Okay,
I'm going American.
You're going to say England. You're going to say
give it to the
America. Okay, in this case, interestingly, you two boys even out. Sonny was right. Christian was wrong. So the chili.
Wait, that wouldn't. we wouldn't
he's
even
ahead.
out.
Oh no, actually, am I wrong?
I said American. He said English.
Oh,
yes.
in which case? Oh, I'm sorry, Christian.
Yeah.
No, it was San Antonio, Texas.
Okay, that sounds right. I was about to say.
Thank God, dude,
But when you
'cause-
said beans,
Yeah, no.
in Texas they don't believe in beans.
So San Antonio, Texas is the birthplace of the traditional
Because I was going to say, bro, like
pot of chili.
if England is responsible for chili, then my life is.
I didn't think it was, but when he said rice
No.
and beans, that's what I was like.
No,
that
but-
sounds like some English stuff right there.
Kinda, but no. It belongs to America. It's San Antonio, Texas.
But actually, I don't know if you know this. In Texas, they don't believe in putting beans in their chili.
oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Okay,
I didn't know that either.
I'm sorry. Okay. So, like my grasp of numbers, is anyone keeping score?
3-1.
3-1.
Okay. So now we're on question 7, and pumpkin pie. Is this America or England?
England.
I'm gonna go with England as well at this point.
Both of you get a point. The pumpkin pie was a 17th century dish. In fact, Shakespeare describes it in his play, The Merry Wives of Windsor, as the pompion, which was the Middle English word.
It almost sounds like pumpkin pie seems like it would be.
Yeah,
It actually
Okay,
was.
apple pie seems like it would be from.
So
America.
you both answered that instantly and got it right. Okay, fair enough. I should have made these trickier maybe. Okay, so question 8. And who's keeping score here?
4-2.
4-2, okay. Question 8 is... Yes, where was the first text message in the world sent from, England or America?
America.
Well, let's go America.
Okay, you both said America. The first text message in the world was Merry Christmas on the 3rd of December 1992, and it was sent from Reading, England.
Reading?
It was my hometown.
Holy
wow.
crap!
Yes.
What a
So no points for you both there.
that's
okay.
insane.
The scores remain at 4-2, and we're on 9 of 10. So, okay, the 9th question here is the aeroplane, or I believe you would say airplane, but the aeroplane.
Well, I know
was this invented
America.
and founded in England or America?
America. Wright brothers.
Both
Yeah.
of you immediately answer absolutely correct. The Wright brothers, and for extra, well, there'd be no extra points, but which state?
It was in like for some reason, dude. I
should
want
know
to
this.
say Wisconsin so bad.
Wisconsin. What are we saying here?
I don't even know.
Okay. So Orville and his brother, the Wright
don't
brothers,
wanna say the wrong
were the first people to design, invent, and make the first successful flight with an airplane in North Carolina. And we brings us to the last question. What's the scores?
5-3.
5-3. Okay. So there's really no chance to even the
Yeah.
scores here. But the 10th question here is the word soccer originated in England or America?
That has to be American. You'll call it football.
Sucker.
No, the
Soccer.
word soccer.
Soccer. Oh, America.
Okay, you're both wrong again. Sadly, and
What?
again, it breaks my heart to say this, Soccer, you can look it up. I mean, the facts are there. It's written historically. Sadly, although we consider this blasphemy, and we're not supposed to call the game of football soccer, soccer was indeed an English term, which meant association football. The reason being is to disassociate it from rugby football. So at the end of our 10 questions and our game England or America, we have Sonny Cochran with 5 points and Christian Ricard with 3. Thank you very much.
You had us stumped at the beginning, though.
I tried to.
Yeah, those were insane.
Yeah.
I deliberately tried to.
Soccer just blew. That was the craziest
Soccer and
one.
apple pie.
Unless I'd done my research there, and I would never have said that apple pie was one of ours, but it is.
That's crazy. God, dude, you learn something new every day.
You really do.
Holy crap. Okay.
Yeah, that was insane.
So coming off of that, before we get into the Keep 5, Drop 5, we have 4 questions that people submitted, wanted us to ask. So your first one is, and I'll read the question and then tell you who asked it. The first one is, on an average day, and we've actually answered this before, using just your arms, only your arms, nothing extra added to you, how many pigeons do you think you could carry at one time? And that is from Chinese Kev.
It's not from Chinese Kev. It's from Mr. Paul Hill. And he wants me to answer this. How many pigeons do I think I could carry at one time?
We actually answered this one before.
Using just my arm.
It's quite a thought provoker.
Yeah. I think, roughly, I'd probably be able to hold about 10 in each arm before I drop them all and slap Paul Hill in the face.
Okay, question number 2. What is your favorite sandwich filling, and why is it a brick of bologna? That is from Brenda Ricketts.
I want you to describe this brick of bologna to me.
He insists that Brenda Ricketts is a real person as well. I mean, to this day, he won't let that drop.
So hold on. On a serious note, is a brick of bologna a thing?
Just a brick?
Yeah. No, what he's trying to say is that I have a slice of bread and a slice of bread and a brick of meat between it.
Bologna, specifically.
Why do they make bricks of bologna?
No, they don't. It's just that this man is full of bologna.
There you go.
And
Good job. I like your censorship.
yes.
You're doing great.
This man is full of it. Let's put it that way. So Brenda, I'm ever so sorry, Brenda, but I can't answer your question because it's nonsense.
Okay, question number 3. There are so many interesting creatures, animals, and bugs where you're from.
Yes.
Are there any that scare you, and what's it like having to live in Australia with stuff like that? And that is from Pat Halibut.
Pat Halibut. I can't speak for Australia, Pat Halibut.
Is it the kangaroos or the tarantulas?
Yes.
Or the big spiders?
See, insects and bugs don't bother me so much.
So it's
I'm
kangaroos
more
for sure.
worried about being surrounded by morons.
The kangaroos. They're actually pretty intelligent animals.
I'm sure they are, yes.
Did you know, all jokes aside, a kangaroo will fake drowning to convince you to come in the water to save it, to in turn drown you? That's like an actual thing.
Yeah, that's fact.
I didn't know that. No,
They'll go out into the middle of like a lake or something and pretend that they're drowning, so someone will come help them and then drown the person.
Oh, gosh, they're
evil.
Yeah.
But intelligent.
It's like they lure someone in when they're unsuspecting, and then take them for a fool.
Yep.
Okay. Last question. This is an easy one. Oh my gosh. Okay.
That noose doesn't sound too bad anymore.
The most famous person from where you are from
Yes.
is Steve Irwin. How do you feel about him as a role model? And that question is asked by none other than Bubba Gump.
I didn't want to break. Don't break.
R.I.P. Steve Irwin.
No. I was trying to keep my countenance here. I didn't want to. I'm not going to give him the satisfaction. I mean, because when he's here, oh my god, the almighty slap! I just want to hear it ringing. I just want to hear this, the palm of my hand ringing off of his chops. The most. Oh god. Next.
And believe it or not, it was not Paul Hill who helped. Who
No.
helped
don't
with
believe
those?
it. No.
It was a friend from school that you went to school with.
Yes, I don't believe it. Yeah.
Her name was Omelette.
Omelette.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who calls their kid Omelette?
It's a beautiful name.
I think it's a great name.
Yes. Surname?
Probably Cheese.
So you call the kid Omelette Cheese instead of Cheese Omelette, right?
Well, no, her middle initial is W, so it's technically Omelette with cheese.
Come, sweet death. Relieve me from this.
So, with that, we're going to move on to Keep Drop Fives. You ready for this? Your favorite game.
Oh, man.
So.
Very interested to see some of your answers to these.
Yeah, sure.
Because these are good.
And if you also want to go into conversation with them,
I'm just thinking because this is how we close things out usually. So how long have we been rolling for now?
About
an hour and a half.
We don't have to close out right here. This is just kind of where we're headed.
No, I like this game, but I know that it means the end. We're drawing towards.
No, not necessarily.
close.
So we can open. We have plenty of time, bro.
That's all good. It's all good. So
And some of these will lead into the conversation.
Because I might ask you some questions as we go.
by all means, boys, hit me.
So we're going with keep 5, drop 5. You
Yes.
know the rules. You remember them. You
I've
keep
played
5
this
of
one.
them. You drop 5. We're going to give you 10 random things in a random order. And you got to decide to keep or drop in that order. Once you keep 5, game's over. Once you drop 5, game over.
Yes, sir.
You ready? All right. This is horror villains.
Okay.
Starting off with number 1, Chucky.
Drop.
Immediately.
Now, yeah, because I know there's going to be some real heavy hitters that you're going to. So there's some that I've got tattooed on me, some that I completely adore, and Chucky. As much as I own all the Chucky films and I love the Child's Play films, but I feel like there's more iconic.
They're
horror
very
films.
goofy.
Yeah.
They are goofy films. They really went very silly. They went particularly when you get around Seed of Chucky and stuff like that, it went completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then it's not a consistent film franchise, and I don't think Chucky is a consistent film villain.
I also feel like he is probably the least to worry about.
Yeah,
like,
I'd
if a dog comes
football
running at
kick
me,
him.
Well, unless you've got that sort of, I mean, dolls are creepy and people
Doll
have got,
phobia
that,
type.
have got
Yeah.
that fear of dolls and stuff.
Yeah, I
but
don't
it's
have
just
that.
like a lot of people have got that sort of irrational, well, I don't know, well, maybe irrational, I don't know, but that fear of clowns, whereas clowns don't frighten me necessarily.
No, not necessarily.
So dolls don't really frighten me, to be honest. I mean,
I'm in the same, but I feel like Chucky is the least threatening of
Of
all
all
horror
horror
villains.
villains.
a big old fella who's the size of the fridge freezer there, who's chasing me with
Terrifying.
a machete, it would scare me a lot more than a tiny ginger doll.
Right.
Yeah.
That you can just grab and yeet.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next, Michael Myers.
Ooh. Now, I think we're going to keep Michael Myers. The
wanna
reason
keep
being
Michael.
is because he's silent, towering, he stalks you, you don't know when he's looking at you, he's got that blank white expression on the mask, the boiler suit, and he's just out there in the suburbs. I feel like he is a frightening and terrifying villain. They did some crap things with him in the films over time and everything, but mainly when he is frightening, he's very frightening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. Hold on one second. I'm adding something extra.
I'd say Michael Myers is like top tier for me.
All right. Starting off, we're going to Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Wow. Now, do you know the reason? I'm going to drop him, and do you know the reason for this?
Go ahead.
Is because in that initial film, he's absolutely terrifying, and in the remake, he's terrifying, and yet they destroyed the character of Leatherface over the course of the franchise, and they made him wear lady masks and be a transvestite, and he was like screaming like a little girl.
Actually.
In a lot of like the later ones.
And Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 was just simply called Leatherface, and he was. They tried to explain his childlike intelligence by him playing a little game where he was trying to input into a computer that people equals food, and then when it told him that was wrong or whatever, he threw a little tantrum and just had a sulk in the corner of the room. Went so Leatherface was terrifying when the way that Ed Gein's story inspired Leatherface to be the villain that he is was terrifying, right? And they pulled that off in 1974. I reckon they pulled that off again in 2003. In the subsequent sequels, Leatherface is they made him more of a pussy, to be honest. Like, you know, and if he wasn't brandishing a chainsaw,
He wouldn't be much
it
of a
was
threat.
essentially his family telling him to sit down and shut up in the corner. So no, I would drop him.
Okay. Freddy Krueger.
Oh man, elite tier. So yes, this is a keep.
Okay.
Freddy Krueger was made to be a film villain.
Also another goofy one, man. Like his later, like what's the one where he's driving the semi truck?
Yeah.
And he's talking like a redneck.
Yeah.
Dude, he is so goofy.
What they did with him was blasphemous, and it was awful because it was terrible what they did to the franchise towards the end of it. And they made him a joke. They made him James Bond. They made him he was wearing shades. He was cutting catchphrases. However, the reason I'm going to keep him is because if ever there was even just a look, a style, and a presentation of a film villain, it would be Freddy
Krueger, absolutely. It's probably one of the most replicated horror villains.
Simply because he's got a very unique style of weaponry, right? Which is that glove. The fact that he was a child killer, you know, that adds, or potentially a nonce even, like, you know, it just sort of adds that darkness to his character. His look, because he's all burnt. The fact that he's got that iconic sweater, the iconic fedora. The fact that Robert Englund plays him to perfection. And anyone who's ever tried to play Freddy Krueger since just couldn't capture it. No matter what they did with that character as time went on, we all know Freddy Krueger
Always will.
as he's the iconic film villain, so I could never drop that.
I feel it. All right, moving on to number 5. Pennywise, the Dancing Clown.
Again, no, I'm going to drop Pennywise simply because clowns don't frighten me.
Of course.
And even though Tim Curry, an Englishman actually, played him perfectly in the first go around, and then I think there was a...
Bill Skarsgård?
Yeah, is he Swedish or Norwegian?
Oh, I think they're Norwegian.
Is he Norwegian? Okay,
I
yes.
don't want to say, I don't know.
Yeah,
think.
Bill Skarsgård came along to play him. He
did well.
In the remake. I thought he did a fantastic
I think it's
job.
better, actually.
Yeah,
it's
I think
more horror, like more scary. In my
It's
opinion.
definitely scarier.
I'm going to put that down to the fact that you probably watched the films in his order and then went back and watched them.
No, I watched the original when I was a kid.
Oh,
But
really?
I never had a fear of clowns. My sister,
okay.
however, terrified of clowns.
Because I was going to say, I thought Tim Curry was frightening because I was young when I watched it. You know, because
yeah.
that initial installment was...
I don't know. I kind of grew up watching horror movies with my dad, so they never really...
Yeah, I mean, I like them to frighten me, but I don't... I mean, I'm a bit numbed and desensitized to them by this stage.
Have you seen the new ones? The new ones are like kind of more... I feel like they're a little bit more like...
They're
sadistic
they're
almost.
darker for
Absolutely,
sure.
yeah.
Darker.
I mean, I just feel like everything in that initial... It went on forever. It was like almost 3 hours, wasn't it, that first
Yes.
one? Yeah. So...
But there again, it just adds to it, like Pennywise being like a child killer. The whole deal
Target
is
kids.
just ugh.
Well, because this whole thing's fear, right? So people
Yeah.
fear him.
The reason I'll drop him is because I think that hits with a lot of people's fear of clowns. I never
Of
had
course.
a fear of clowns.
Yeah, and my sister's. All right, so that put us at 5. So I'll go ahead and give you an update. You've dropped Chucky. You've kept Michael Myers. You've dropped Leatherface. You've kept Freddy Krueger, and you've dropped Pennywise.
Yes.
Moving on. Ghostface from Scream.
Now, Ghostface, I have to drop simply because Ghostface isn't a definitive killer or a specific person.
Correct.
Changes from film to film.
And it's
it's
different
anyone
people.
who wants to don the mask and the uniform and just stab people. So Ghostface is, by its own design, I think is a fantastic killer, fantastic imagery. I love the films. I really love the Scream films. I've got all of these people tattooed on me. I've got Michael Myers and a ghost face, and in fact,
Yep, there's Ghostface right there,
yeah. But I will have to drop because it can't be definitive.
I'm going to tell you that is your 4th drop.
Oh, okay.
I only have one more.
And we're moving on to number 7.
Yes,
Pinhead, Hellraiser.
drop.
All right, that means you're keeping all these next.
All right.
You have Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs.
That's an easy keep anyway.
You have Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th.
It was
my
favorite.
personal
That's
favorite.
my
Yeah.
personal favorite.
He's a G. And then you got Creeper from Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, he's terrible. I mean, he's great in that first film, but I think in the sequels he sucks.
Yeah.
But,
The first one is terrifying.
So, with that being said, that's going to move me on to this. Michael Myers versus Jason Voorhees. This is one that's always debated amongst. Who do you think wins? I feel like, well, I'll let you give your answer and I'll give you mine.
if that film were to happen, see these. Okay, right. What they've got. Let's have a look at what they've got in common and what they haven't, right?
Yep.
These are both towering killers who usually wear boiler suits and a mask. Yep. And the mask happens to be white, and they usually stalk their prey in silence, without saying anything, and they usually brandish sharp weapons and kill their prey in innocent ways, right? They've got so much in common. And this is why I feel like Freddy vs. Jason was a much more sensible idea to do as a film, because they didn't have that much in common.
Oh yeah, very opposite.
Michael vs. Jason is like powerhouse versus powerhouse. It's kind of like the immovable force meeting the irresistible force meeting the immovable object. I mean, I can't see a winner. I feel like
I think Jason Voorhees mops the floor with Michael Myers. I don't think it's close.
I think his strength alone.
If you look at it, like his feet, like I think it's the first one or the second one where the first one's the mom, right? The first one's
the first one's the mom.
So it's the second one where he just crushes a woman's head with his bare hands. That's insane.
Yeah, that's not the first film.
Which one is that?
Friday the 13th Part 3 is when he crushes
that's
the
the
man's
third
head
one.
until he pops it.
It's when it was Jason though, because his mom was the one killing everybody in the first one.
However, I mean, Michael Myers in that very first Halloween film will pick a man up and just pin him to the wall with a kitchen knife, and therefore, like, the feat of strength, I feel like is an equal there.
But also, like, Jason, like, also is like, I don't know. I feel like he just can't die. He seems to be, from what I've seen, I just feel like I've seen more strength feats from Jason.
I will say that is the thing about Jason though, because even though the movie sucked so bad, in the new Michael Myers, you actually do see Michael Myers die.
Well,
whereas
at the end of the day, he's just a very big human being.
Jason, you cannot.
He becomes a zombie.
Well, we have seen his body blown to bits in Part 9, but then he somehow resurrects towards the end of the film. So,
well, that's what started Freddy vs. Jason, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
It was a film called Jason Goes to Hell. They weren't allowed to call it Friday the 13th Part whatever because they didn't have the Paramount rights. It was it was made by New Line Cinema.
What do you think about Jason X?
I loved it at the time because I couldn't wait for it to come out. And that was 2001, and I was really into film. I was so much into the Friday the 13th franchise at that time, and I couldn't wait for it to come out. It came out. I loved it because I wanted to love it. Hindsight is 2020. Watching back on it now, it is so very tacky. Yeah, it's terrible. It's pure cheddar. Like
still cool though.
One of the cheesiest. Yeah, it's one of the cheesiest entries into franchise, but I still have fun with it.
Yeah,
because I don't think when I say cheesy, I don't mean dreadful.
Yeah,
I just mean enjoyable but cheesy.
Yeah.
I think my favorite Jason probably has to be like part 7 when he goes to New York.
No, Part 8 is Jason Takes Manhattan.
Where he's like walking through and just
well, because there's 2 scenes in that movie that every time I watch it, I'm like, the way that they portrayed Jason just around everyday people who he was not hunting was so cool because first you had the scene where he's walking down the road, right? And then he bumps that guy's boombox, and it breaks. Yeah, he kicks it, and it breaks.
And he pulls a flip
knife. And the guy pulls a flip knife, and then Jason turns around, and then the guy just sees this big towering monster.
I do
and
believe
he's just like,
the quote in that is this street punk, and he's like, "You're dead meat, slime bag." And he just shifts his mask up just a little bit, just to expose the true face. And he was like, "Oh, it's cool, man. It's cool."
Was that when he was a zombie at that point?
Yeah.
No? Yeah, he was a zombie at that point.
And then immediately after that, on the rooftop, you had the black kid who was a boxer, and he just starts
piecing up Jason, and Jason's just sitting there eating it, boy.
It takes about 40 shots until his knuckles are bleeding.
That was pretty impressive.
Jason's just kind of like, well, I'll have one, and then boom.
And then same goes with Michael Myers, though. My favorite Michael Myers, I think, is it Part 3 with Busta Rhymes?
No, Part 3 didn't feature Michael Myers. No, Resurrection was Part 8.
Of Michael Myers?
With Busta Rhymes.
With Busta Rhymes? Yeah. When he just starts putting them hands on him in the house?
It's terrible.
I love it.
It's awful.
Fantastic.
Most of the Halloween fans of that franchise just consider that the low point of the franchise. That Busta Rhymes is performing kung fu moves and saying,
he's going like, wah!
Yeah, and then electrocutes him in the balls, and I mean, it's a low point for the franchise.
Well, I feel like all horror kind of hit that point where it was just kind of.
However, you want to talk Jason Voorhees, and particularly the Jason Voorhees in Part 8, like you say. In 2 weeks' time, myself and Sonny will be going to the South Alabama Comic Convention, and Kane Hodder, who plays, he is Jason in that moment.
Sick.
He'll be there, and I'm saving money to go and get my photo taken with him and
him
autograph it.
Yeah,
and all that sort of
It's gonna be a big moment for you.
It will be mainly because I was desensitized to horror films very early on, probably 8 or 9 years old. Yeah. So Kane Hodder was someone who was always on my television screen from a very young age,
And unfortunately, you have to.
Now, with that being said, I want you to rank these 10 from most deadly to least deadly.
Okay.
So do you want me to read them back to you?
Go ahead.
Chucky.
I'm
It's the same 10 that you've kept and dropped.
yeah.
But I want you to rank them from who's the most deadly. So like number one's going to be most deadly, obviously, to the least deadly. So I'll run through. I can give you all the names right now and then so you can think about it.
Chucky, well, he'll have to come in at number 10. 10
Okay,
yeah.
putting him at 10. Michael Myers.
2,
Leatherface.
7,
Freddy Krueger.
3,
Pennywise.
9,
Ghostface.
8,
Pinhead.
6.
From what I understand, Pinhead's like pretty powerful, right?
Well, yeah, but his usage in the films is particularly as the franchise goes on, he's almost a side piece. It's terrible what they did with his.
I've never seen the Hellraiser movies.
So there's about 8 of them, and as the Hellraiser films go on, his importance is less and less.
Oh man.
So it's almost like they decided to take a script that was laying on a desk somewhere and go, all right, we'll make a film. I'll throw Pinhead in, and then we can call it Hellraiser 6.
Gotcha. All right. Hannibal Lecter.
5,
He's
Jason
such
Voorhees.
a terrifying person.
1.
Creeper.
Oh, I should have put him elsewhere, but there's only one position left, and that's 4.
You can re-rank them. You can move them around.
No,
This isn't like this is a side thing. So like I
how-
want you to put it in your specific order of where you would rank these people anyway.
That's how I'd go about it, though.
So number 1, Jason.
Yeah.
Number 2, Michael.
Yes.
Number 3 was who was number 3? Freddy.
I think number
Freddy,
3
yeah,
was
yeah.
Freddy.
Number 4 was.
Creeper.
Do you
By
like that
default.
spot? You like that spot?
Thinking about, I wouldn't argue it. I think thinking back to that first film, he was terrifying.
Okay.
But you know, I just every when you talk about horror villains and everything, every franchise, because I'm a real horror film nerd, I've seen all of these franchises to the bitter end.
Yeah.
And what they do with some of these characters
ruin
is just run them into the ground.
Yeah.
So the Creeper was initially actually a terrifying character. But
Number
yeah.
5, I believe you had Ghostface.
I think number 5 was
Hannibal
Hannibal.
Lecter. Yeah.
You put Hannibal at number 5. 6 was Ghostface. Right?
Mhm.
7 was. Who was 7?
I think 7 was Scream. Ghostface. No,
Ghostface.
All right.
I think 7 was Leatherface.
And 8 was Ghostface? You put Leatherface above Ghostface?
Maybe. I remember number 10 being Chucky and
That's
number
right,
9 being Pennywise.
Yes.
I feel like I take Christian's point of view when it comes to that, though. I mean, Chucky, as deadly as he was, because he crept around, it was almost like evil Toy Story, because he came awake and came alive when nobody was suspecting it. However, if he was alive and in this room now and came at you with a knife,
Football kicked him through a
just
window.
a toe punt, just send him into the
Right,
fish
because
tank.
no matter whatever he is, he's still the weight of a doll. And he's only. I don't know how strong he is. I don't think I remember ever seeing any like
No,
crazy
he just
strength
kind
feats from
of
him.
like he was stealthy. He got the drop on people.
But like, there's no way he would have like any type of strength. So even if he tried to like grab a hold of you or anything, it's like, okay.
When his arms are so
Stop.
short, you could literally just grab him by his hair and hold him away from you, and he wouldn't be able to do anything.
I mean, he could probably cut your
He
arm.
could probably cut your
but
arm.
grab his arm.
But I mean, just hog tie that little sucker, throw him in a meat grinder, and just chop
I
him to
wouldn't even do that. I would
bits.
just take him to the middle of the ocean with a center block.
Sorry, we got
Gene, thank you for chiming in, sir.
Oh,
we got
welcome,
some
Gene.
interaction here. So what was this?
That's a
goddamn.
nice couch.
It's a nice well, it's nice to know that whatever we've been talking about is completely irrelevant to the fact that this is a really nice couch. Really undermines the pointlessness of what we're doing up here, doesn't it? With the old couch comment, I'm just thinking. Imagine watching a podcast or a debate between, I don't know, some
Three
of,
esteemed
some of the
gentlemen.
great minds, I don't know, Jordan Peterson and Richard Dawkins, and someone just comments, the upholstery on that chair is fantastic.
All right. So, back to where we left off. Any input you want to have on this?
Well, you can talk to me about horror film villains all day long. All I'm going to say, personally, for me, is Friday the 13th. They tend to be the most tacky films. I think they've got the best villain.
I still feel like he's the strongest out of
Yeah.
all of the ones we said. Because like let's all right. I'm gonna go ahead and let's
He's
run them
probably
through.
he's probably been through the most iterations.
What is
as
that
well.
called? Run the gauntlet. Let's go ahead and run the gauntlet of all the other villains. Right. So we're gonna go
We're gonna essentially what Christian's gonna do is he's gonna say, all right,
Jason versus Chucky. Let's go.
Jason is here, and he's gonna pit every other villain against Jason.
Jason versus Chucky. Who's winning this?
Chucky's got no chance. Jason.
All right. Jason versus Michael Myers. We talked about this
I think
briefly.
it'd be dead heat.
I think Jason beats him, man.
Okay.
Just off of sheer power. Jason versus Leatherface, dog walks him. I feel like it's.
Jason's got Jason versus Leatherface. Oh, depends. Leatherface comes armed with a chainsaw. It could be a different story, but I'd say Jason.
Yeah, Jason versus Freddy Krueger. We've seen how that went.
He decapitated him towards the end, but Freddy still got the wink in at the end.
Yeah, but he still
Jason
lost.
won it.
He lost the fight. You know what I mean? Jason versus Pennywise. I don't think Jason would fear Pennywise, so therefore Pennywise would have no power.
I think he'd step over him. Yeah.
And then Jason versus Ghostface. Those are just regular people. I don't care how many of them it is.
Well, they're usually teenagers as well. I think. Jason
Even if they group up, it's just.
Yeah,
it's
Jason
over
would
with.
just flatten them. Yeah.
Jason versus Pinhead. Now this is one I hear Pinhead's crazy strong. So this is one I don't know.
Well, yeah, he's got all these powers of hell and all this sort of stuff. But however, if Pinhead was in a human realm, I think Jason would just take him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jason and Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, again, Hannibal Lecter's a doctor. He's clever, but he's evil. So I just still think Jason will overpower him.
And then Jason and Creeper. Creeper does have some tools and he can fly and whatnot, right? So
I don't even know what noise I just made there. I don't know. I'd say. Yeah, again, to be honest, I think the reason you and I would put Jason at number 1 in the top horror villains is because
bias.
None of the others really could hold a candle to it.
No, I really don't think they could. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that moves us on to the next Keep 5, Drop 5. And we can have more discussions on this as we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
Horror movies. You ready?
I'm ready.
Starting off with The Exorcist.
Love this.
I hate this movie.
You don't like it?
I don't like any movies involving demons, possessions, stuff
Well,
like
he's
that.
the same, but is this what? Is this just because of your religious ties?
I don't know if it's religious ties. It probably is, but that's also like it just that stuff
Not
actually
with the
does
spiritual
creep me
stuff.
out. I do not like anything involving that.
Because something like, okay, let's look at Jason, right? Jason is this being who was resurrected, and he's ungodly strong. He's terrifying.
Yeah.
But we know deep down that can never happen. Like, no one is going to die as a child, be resurrected, and come back as this freak of nature that just kills people.
Right.
However, we do know that people can be possessed by demons and...
Do you?
I mean, I wholeheartedly believe that. I do believe in evil spirits and stuff. That's actual stuff. It's a lot scarier when you think of something that can actually happen versus something...
Well,
now,
Exorcist is based on a true story, isn't it? I believe it was.
Oh, well, they'll sell you that it's based on a true story. But, I mean, demonic possession, again, we'll go back to that list of 19 countries that I went to earlier. The amount of those countries I've been to that believe in demonic possession is, I'd say 18 out of them wouldn't. And I would say in the American South, you definitely would.
Yes.
But then that's because we're in the Bible Belt, and therefore you definitely believe in demons here. It's probably the only place on earth I've ever been that really, truly believes in this shit.
Another thing, Scream, right? Look at Scream. Scream is a bunch of just... Like, Scream is, in my opinion,
It's
a little bit
teenage
scarier
knifings.
because it's something that could actually happen. And it is stuff that happens in today's world. It's just psychotic teenagers who lose their mind and start killing people.
I think in the 1990s, what Wes Craven wanted to do, he wanted to bring horror films into a younger, modern audience. And what he did by doing that was saying, okay, so the original horror villains were the Wolfman and Dracula and the Mummy and stuff like that, and Frankenstein's monster. It was stuff that could...
never be real.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we had Norman Bates, and who I'm surprised isn't on any of these lists. But,
I actually am too, actually.
But and then we've got Leatherface and Freddy Krueger. These were child murderers and crazy redneck, like sort of hillbilly people who ran around with chainsaws. They were slightly closer to the truth, but they weren't quite in with the truth. Then the next generation of horror was Wes Craven going, right, well, school killings happen all the time. And people do just go psychopathic and just knife a load of people. And so Scream was about as close to reality.
Yeah.
It was taking horror films away from... they're not dream demons anymore. They're not immortal people.
They're real people.
It was like any teenager could put on a ghost face mask and knife a load of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It brought it more into your sort of living room. It was basically just saying everyone knows of a knifing. Well, at least we do in England. I mean, that's more or less.
Oh yeah, that was y'all's main.
I mean, we just hear
That's
about
your
that.
bread and butter.
We hear about that before breakfast.
That's your beans on toast.
I remember I seen a video of literally 2 dudes having a literal sword fight
In
front of
England,
their houses
yeah.
in England. It was like a machete, and some dude had like, I don't want to say a katana, I don't know, like a long sword or something.
Yeah. And so
That's insane.
Knifing it out, bro.
That's like one of the scariest situations. I'd much rather be in a gunfight. I feel like that's just terrifying.
much rather take a bullet than someone have a blade sink into my
Right.
body that far, and then have to survive after it.
And then
try
keep fighting.
It's it's absolutely mental. And therefore, Scream to me is that series of films. It brings it into okay, well, one of these people on campus goes psychotic, decides to dress up, and now they've got a knife. Mm-hmm. It's much. As time went on, it became much closer to home from Frankenstein and the Mummy.
Of course.
It was now these people are on your campus and they are mentally unsound. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there we go. But that's how I feel about the Scream franchise.
So Exorcism, keep it dry. The Exorcist.
The Exorcist, I love it as a film personally. I know you two won't like it. It scared the absolute daylights.
I've seen it. No, it scared the hell out of
Scared the living daylights out of me when I first saw it. And I've only seen it maybe twice in my life, but both times I watched it, I got the fear. It makes me shiver.
Yep.
It gave me all those thrills and excitement that a horror film should do.
Yeah.
And therefore, it really did its job.
So you're going to keep?
Depends. How many options have I got here? 10?
10.
Exorcist.
And this is a list right here.
Yes, I'm going to drop it.
Okay.
I know you're going to hit me with some harder ones.
Another one, so like one that really scared the hell out of me as a kid, which is not on this list, but the Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
Seen it?
That's a
I
rough
think a
one.
big one that it was like it's the father who got did he get possessed by demons?
Well,
So
his alibi went, but essentially he got up in the night, supposedly.
which I've
possessed.
seen the remake with Ryan Reynolds. I've never seen the original one.
Oh, really? Oh, there was a run of original films, and Amityville 2 out of all of those. Amityville 2 was called The Possession. One of the films that genuinely frightened me when I was younger.
Yeah,
Really.
the Amityville Horror scared the hell out of me.
Oh,
I think
my
it was because
goodness.
the dad was the one that got targeted and like
That
living
one-
with a single father. That
If you
was-
talk about terrifying horror films, I'm really surprised that the remake frightened you. I mean,
scared the hell out of me. But I was a kid. I was like 6.
oh, fair enough. I mean, they cleaned it up a lot more. It was a bit more Hollywood.
Actually.
Of course they did. Yeah, those earlier films were they were so budget. Amityville 2 was made on a budget, but it was so scary. And to this day, I think I'd still be scared by it because I can still think of the imagery. The idea of this whole idea of the devil told me to do it, which I just think, frankly, is a get out clause for anyone who's mental. But there you have it. I mean, well, I'll just go and put a shotgun in everyone's mouth while they're sleeping, and just blow their brains out. And then when I get arrested for it, I can just say, well, it wasn't me. The devil told me to do it. But I mean, there you go.
Right.
I will drop.
Oh, that wasn't on the list. That was just me throwing that out there.
Oh, was it? Okay. Sorry, mate.
Halloween. The original one.
1978, John Carpenter.
1978.
Wow, that's a keep, isn't it?
Okay.
That's a staple. You can't.
It's such a great film.
The Shining, 1980.
Oh man, now I love The Shining. I got shown that one really late on. Mm-hmm. So I fell in love with all other horror films. Didn't really realize the importance of The Shining until I got shown it maybe 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Fantastic film, but is it in the upper echelons? Probably not. I would say it is a really, really good film, but I'm going to drop.
Okay. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974.
1974 by Tobe Hooper is a keep.
Okay.
Genuinely terrifying, and the first time, and the whole dinner table scene, the sounds, the way that it's quick shot between, like the way that it just accentuates the mania in that poor woman, and she just keeps on screaming, and it makes for uncomfortable viewing. But,
Yeah.
And what it continues to do is you don't want to see it anymore, and yet it gives you more. And that's, I think, essentially it was the horror film that you didn't know you didn't want to see until you watched it, and then somehow you did want to see more. Okay. It was crazy. It was depraved. It was nasty. It was budget. It was depraved. It felt cheap. The lighting, the way it's shot, the way it's acted, it's all very grubby. But I couldn't get enough. It's definitely top tier. I would keep.
All right. Number 5, Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984.
1984, Wes Craven. Robert Englund's debut as Freddy Krueger, Heather Langenkamp as Nancy. Absolute keep. It's got to be. I mean, that one absolutely redefined the horror genre because it gave it imagination.
So that was your third keep. I'll go ahead and give you a rundown because we're on number 5.
Oh, sorry. We're
The
running out of
Exorcist
time.
was a drop. No, you ain't. We're
good.
chilling, brother. This ain't a rush. I still got more stuff to go.
I would just say with that one, though, that Wes Craven really injected some imagination into the horror genre at that time was, as we know, it was Friday the 13th and Halloween.
Yes.
And so we had big, tall, tonk, hench killers in boiler suits with white faces. And he decided to bring in a burnt paedophile with razor fingers, and who gets you in your dreams. And it was
that's the scary part, though, is that he gets you in your dreams. Right?
Yeah.
Because if he wasn't a dream monster, I don't think it would be as scary. It wouldn't work.
Yeah, and so that's what I mean by bringing in some imagination. It wasn't just big man kill little woman. It was basically anyone's a victim.
Yeah, you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so you have dropped The Exorcist. You have kept Halloween.
Yes.
You have dropped The Shining. You have kept Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You have kept A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes, sir.
Moving on to number 6.
Yes.
Friday the 13th. First one.
Now
1988.
I will drop the original because the original is just not a great film.
That's your third. You're at 3 drops, 3 keeps.
Now, do you know where I'm coming from with this? Are you a
About
franchise
it being
fan?
the mother, or
Well, I like that first film. Don't get me wrong; it's definitely not a classic.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Friday the 13th franchise really picked up as it went along. My favorite is Part 4.
they all kind of because I watched them all when I was younger. I haven't watched them in a very long time, but they all kind of merge into one memory for me.
Yeah, my wife says the same thing,
And that's why I have to drop like certain scenes, and you can correct it. Like earlier when we were talking about the boombox, you were like, "Oh, that's part 8."
Yeah.
Oh no, because I'm a nerd for these things. But
Right.
like when I say to her, "Oh, which one of those Friday the 13th films do you like?" She's just
Can't
I
tell you.
couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, I can't. I like them all. Like none of them were bad to me. The first one's probably the weakest. Well, Jason X is crazy, but like
It's not. Again, it might be a weak film. I would say the first one was made on a shoestring budget. It was supposed to be just a shocker. Nobody knew that Jason was going to come back or become a
what he
franchise
is.
favorite.
Yeah.
So it's a good film, to be honest. I mean, I know it's a bad film by any critic's standards. If you were to ask a film critic, is Friday the 13th a good film?
I don't trust
say
any
no.
film critic.
Of course
I
they
trust
say
a
no.
zero
many
critic.
But
reviews
for
are bad.
me, a film is as good as it is enjoyable.
As long as it's enjoyable, it's good.
And I don't I can see the cheese in something and still enjoy it. So you know,
Yeah,
same. I feel the same way.
that first one is good, but it's not a keeper.
Okay. Misery.
Oh, I love Misery, but classic all-time horror film. How many drops have I had?
You've had 3 drops and 3 keeps. You're dead even right now.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll drop Misery. I mean, I like it, and Kathy Bates does a fantastic job.
That movie terrified me when I was younger.
Oh man, she
I don't think I've seen that one.
You never seen it?
she gets some awards for that role.
Yeah, it is. It's not terrifying in the sense of like Michael Myers, Friday the 13th. It is the helm of psychological horror, terror. Like essentially, correct me if I'm wrong. There's this guy. He writes books, right? And she's like obsessed with him. So she kidnaps him, puts him up in this cabin out in the middle of nowhere. And she's like begging him to write this next book in the series. And he's essentially telling her like, I won't do it, or you got to wait, or blah, blah, or whatever. And so every day she goes in there, she asks, essentially, are you going to do it? And he says no. She just pulls out a hammer and starts busting his kneecaps. I mean, tortures him.
You never seen this film? Do you ever read the book? Okay. Yeah, there's one particular scene that he's describing now where she takes a sledge. It's about, I think it's a 9-pound sledge, just a 9-pound hammer, and says that you're not going anywhere. And she's got him like tied to the bed with rope and everything. And she deliberately shatters both of his ankles with a sledgehammer so that he won't go away.
That's a rough one to watch, man. Now it probably wouldn't do me that bad, but I remember like as a kid seeing it and being like, this is...
Yeah, I can't say I've seen that one.
It's a very, very good horror film, but for me, I'm a sucker for franchise horror, and I'll drop it.
All right. Psycho.
Oh, my favourite series of horror films. Favourite franchise by a country mile.
Oh, wow.
So well. I mean, it's Alfred Hitchcock. And Alfred Hitchcock is an English film director, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
And the show they did, Bates Motel, was insane too.
Yeah, and do you know what? Although that series, there's 5 whole seasons of Bates Motel, and it's fantastic.
I never knew they did that many seasons of that show.
But
I've never seen the show.
But I bet you didn't realise that they followed the original film up with 3 sequels, and that those 3 sequels all features Anthony Perkins, who played the original Norman Bates. He reprised his role and even directed part 3. He was fantastic, and that's what makes it such a strong franchise.
Yeah.
It never sort of, it never weakened. The story always remained strong, and I think what makes a lot of horror franchises weaken over time is that they run out of story and they get different people to play this, and they bring in different people for that. Psycho, that was a film franchise that really maintained exactly what it had in the beginning. And therefore, the sequels are all really strong.
Okay.
I think
So that's a keep.
it's a 100% keep. Yeah.
All right, so we're moving on to number 9. You're even on keeps and drops. You have 1 each.
Yes.
Evil Dead.
Love Evil Dead. So unless you're going to spring another one on me, I'm going to have to say Evil Dead is a keep.
All right, that leaves you dropping The Silence of the Lambs.
Ooh. Okay. It's a tough drop because I like that.
Yep, so that means you've dropped The Exorcist, you've kept Halloween, you've dropped The Shining, you've kept Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you've kept Nightmare on Elm Street, you've dropped the Friday the 13th, dropped Misery, kept Psycho, kept Evil Dead, dropped Silence of the Lambs.
Do you know what? I'm completely happy with that. I think
Really? You like that list?
Yeah.
That was a tough list to go through too.
It was, because I would say most of those films I really, really like. I would say the only one I don't really have a lot of time for.
The Shining.
It's difficult for me to say that. It's a Stanley Kubrick. It's one of Jack Nicholson's best performances.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson's
Shelley
phenomenal.
Duvall did really good in it. It's just because I'm a latecomer, I think. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I didn't see The Shining until later on.
All right, that moves us on to the next one. So, I don't know if you're going to know all these. I told ChatGPT to do retro games. Not all these are retro. So,
Retro video games.
retro video game consoles.
Okay.
So, if you know the console, just throw a little extra in there. Just see if you can throw your favorite game with it. All right?
Let's see.
All right, starting off with number 1, the original Xbox.
Never played one.
So that's a drop.
It's a drop.
Okay, no problem there. It's normal.
You might be shocked by how many video game consoles I was not interested in, but go on.
Super Nintendo Entertainment System, also known as the SNES.
Yeah, the SNES. Yeah. I've got one at my house, and I play it at least.
I mean, that would be one more up the alley.
There's never a week that goes by that I don't.
Favorite game?
How could you ask me such a question?
Dig Dug.
I love Dig Dug, and I've got Dig Dug on the SNES. Well, it's a Game Boy port, but you know, I love Dig Dug. Favorite game for the SNES? Probably Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Okay, so that's a keep for sure. My dad's was what's the one with the 2 guys where you're shooting and it's multiplayer, but like you would shoot and you get upgrades for your guns as you go. You know what I'm talking about?
You're going to
jump and it would
slightly
do
more
flipping?
specific than that.
I don't know how to get it. It's 2 dudes.
2 dudes and machine guns.
They start with like where it's just, but then you get upgrades and like one will be like a spread, one is like a rapid fire. I can't remember the name of this game. I'll have to ask my dad later. But that was like his favorite game. I played it with him growing up.
Love the SNES though.
All right, Sega Genesis.
Actually, I've got the SNES controller. Literally, I think I've got the SNES controller tattooed on my back. Have I?
I'm not seeing it here.
On the
Other side, maybe?
other shoulder.
Wait, I see a Mario star.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yep.
There you go. Funny, you asked me about all these horror villains. I've got them somewhere on me. And then you asked me about retro video game consoles. I've got them somewhere on me.
All right, Sega Genesis. What you got?
Ooh, Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
The Sonic Hedgehog 2 is your favorite,
Yeah.
and that's a keep or a drop.
Oh, it's 100% keep.
Okay.
That was childhood vibes. I even feel nostalgia thinking about it now.
This is one of my favorite consoles of all time.
Of all time.
Nintendo 64.
I love the N64, and I play my N64 all the time. So if I had a game, you wanted me to associate a game with it?
Yeah.
Well, there's so many and for so many different reasons. I love Banjo-Kazooie because they were British gaming programmers.
Really?
Of course they were. The whole humour in it is very British.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just playing through Banjo-Tooie as we speak back home. Let me think about it. But then, obviously, Zelda Ocarina of Time, widely considered the best video game ever made.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart 64, which I still play on my stepson all the time.
Mario 64.
Super Mario 64, which would change...
Super Smash Bros. The first one was on N64.
That first Super Mario 64, which would change the gaming format
For
from
sure.
2D Mario
It was
to
insane.
3D Mario. Then again, I say Mario, you say Mario.
Oh, yeah, you say Mario.
Yes, we say Mario.
Mario.
Listen. Yes, we say Mario,
mate.
Yes, we say Mario, as in...
Contra, that is it. Yes,
Contra,
thank you, Gene. That was
is
Contra,
it
was the
Contra
game.
3, yeah, but...
Contra was the game I was talking about with the guns.
Yes. Oh,
The
someone
two
helped
guys
you
with
out,
the
right.
guns. Yes, it's Contra. Good looking out, Gene.
Let me listen to them, though, right? So I say Mario, these people say Mario, right?
Mario.
No, it's Mario. As
Mario.
in, I'm in Alabama, and you people marry your cousins more
But
than
does he say, it's a me, Mario? Or does he say, it's
It's a me, Mario.
Yeah, but Charles Martinez, who does the voiceover, is he an Italian man?
Is it?
No, he's a Yank like you. You fucking... Excuse me, you muppet. See, look, I'm ever so sorry. He's going to have to take that in and bleep it. Should I just... Okay. I'm ever so bleeping sorry. Bleep.
There you go. You're
There we
bleeping yourself.
go.
So, favorite game, pick one for 64. It doesn't. I mean, it's not like a life or death situation, but
That's all right. I'm going to say Banjo-Kazooie.
okay. Keep.
Let's keep that, yeah.
Okay, moving on. Number 5. This is one I spent a lot of time with. The PlayStation, the original one.
Right. Now, here you go. I'm sure there's going to be much
Never played
ridicule
it.
to follow. Yeah, but I didn't play the PlayStation.
Oh man, that's sad. I'm gonna go ahead and put a drop for you.
Just drop it because I don't even know.
fair
You should
enough.
buy one. Go ahead.
I don't
and get
even
you
know
one.
whether it's a good or bad console. No, I don't.
Dude, Spider-Man was my favorite game.
On the PS1, man.
Yeah, the PS1 Spider-Man.
Spyro, the original
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
yeah.
Like there were games that
Well, we were at Sonny's place, and Sonny was showing me a handful of old PlayStation games. And I didn't even recognize the format. Do you know when we were digging through your vinyl and all that sort of thing?
Oh, I was showing.
Oh,
I
in
had
your
like
parents'
some PS2 games laying around in my parents' house.
So yeah, but do you know he's got a whole stack of vinyl and stuff that just sits
He
there.
collects
and
it.
Collect. No, but all it does is collect dust. I mean, he doesn't actually put it on a turntable.
Well,
I don't
What
have
if-
anywhere to put it right now.
Honestly, though, collectors when they collect things, what do they usually do?
Well, I mean, I have played all mine though. There's only one record I have not played, and it's an original Zeppelin from like 1973. And it's honestly because I'm scared that when the needle touches it, it's just gonna disintegrate.
Can you imagine? All right, so that was number 5. So your update is you've dropped the Xbox, you've kept the SNES, you've dropped Sega Genesis, you've kept Sega Genesis, you have kept Nintendo 64, and you have dropped Sony PlayStation. So you've used 3 keeps, used 2 drops. You still have 2 keeps, 3 more drops. You ready?
Yes, sir.
The Atari.
Never played it.
Really? Me neither.
This would be a drop.
Yeah, me as well. I can't tell you anything. Game Boy.
Loved my Game Boy.
I did too. Did you have the OG one without the color, or did you have a Game Boy
I
Color?
had the big old fat grey brick
I had the
sort of
Game Boy Color. I mean, they had the same
But
game.
I also
though.
had a Game
Yeah.
Boy Color. I had a Game Boy Advance at some point.
Yeah,
you
Game
know,
Boy
so
Advance too. I had that.
I actually really enjoyed the Game
I
Boy.
miss those days of gaming. Being in the back of your
portable?
parents' car,
Yeah.
just
Well, portable gaming, other than the Switch, has kind of died. But even then, like the Switch, it's a specific fan base that goes for the Switch, right? Like I have one. I never touch it.
Handheld consoles, they're definitely a cut-off point for me. I think it was the Game Boy Advance. So if you're
Oh, you didn't have a Nintendo DS?
No, they didn't have a DS or a Switch. For me, I think video gaming went right off a cliff about the turn of the millennium, and then video gaming wasn't big, bright, beautiful, cutesy colors, characters, and everything. Video gaming just decided to get so ambitious that it looked like films,
I know,
and
I
it
love
felt
it.
like
I
films.
love it.
And I'm sure you love that, and so many other people love it. But playing Halo or playing Super Mario World, I know which one I'd rather go into.
I need
Is
to
the-
sit down and play some God
My
of War.
my fantasy world looks a lot different to what could
Yeah, but-
essentially be.
Just sit down and play some God of War and let me know what you think.
Yeah, look.
or some Ghost of Tsushima.
No. Just get told this so often by modern gamers, but it wouldn't. My gaming experience will never
Well, I feel
resemble
like
reality.
Because you enjoy films. I feel like you would enjoy games like
No.
this.
But okay, I can dive into a film because I know it's a
You can
film.
dive in, but the game's same way.
No, but when I enjoy a video game, it's a different world to film. I don't want it to feel like a film, because why are you narrowing your brow at me? I don't get
Because
that.
it's strange.
It's strange
Well,
for
if
me
you
to.
like it
It's
in
strange
film.
for me to separate what I like about video games and what I like about film.
Absolutely, just conform to society and do what everybody else does.
Well, we also we still have side
Conform to
scrollers.
society.
So is that your thing? Is side scrollers? You don't like 3D games?
Hold on, just a sec.
No, I'm just asking a genuine question. I'm not judging. I'm asking.
No, but that would be absolutely foolish. And it's just like we've literally just been speaking about Ocarina of Time, Banjo-Kazooie, and Super Mario 64, all of which are 3D platforming games.
Yes, but not
All
to
RPGs.
3D is like nowadays. But like, so is that your preferred? Is like the N64
absolutely.
style of N3?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be side-scrolling 2D.
Well, we still have.
It doesn't have to be backwards in time technologically.
You ever played like Ratchet and Clank or?
No. I know what it is, but I haven't played it.
I feel like that type of game would be good. Spyro would be good for you.
Might like Borderlands.
No, but like, I'm
You might like Borderlands.
sorry, I'm not having this. I'm not having this sort of like a.
What?
No. The idea of like, because I'm not into the modern video gaming, that I've somehow my opinion might be wrong about.
No,
that.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that there's options in the modern video game world for
that
you.
resemble.
But I've got to defend the idea that, and this is always how I felt about it, is that modern video gaming does feel too cinematic, and it absolutely does.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. The games I'm telling you are not.
They're not cinematic. They resemble an old school style of gaming, big bright colors, very unrealistic kind of deal. And
we've got these like sort of iconic characters that they bring in. Ratchet and Clank, obviously, I've heard of, but I haven't seen.
Awesome, great game, love it.
But yeah, I've always followed the Super Mario franchise and Castlevania franchise,
What about
the Zelda
like the
franchise.
new, like the new Legend of Zelda's, like Breath of the Wild.
The most modern one I've come up to is we recently completed the Twilight Princess on the Wii, and I didn't want to give it a chance. It was my wife actually who said, "Look, it might be a bit more advanced and cinematic than you're used to because it hasn't got the blocky N64 graphics. But come on, let's bring this old man into the 21st century." And I gave it a try. And at first, I will admit, because on the scale of sort of over here is fickle and over here is stubborn.
Yeah.
Like, my mind cannot be changed easily. I'm not on the fickle side of things, right? I'm on the stubborn side of things.
Yeah.
And therefore, I'm probably about here, yeah? And therefore, I was thinking, oh, God, like, this is going to have to take really, like, something drastic to change my mind. So I played it, and I could see that she was enjoying it. I could see that my stepson was enjoying it. And I couldn't help it. After about an hour, I was like, okay, I'm enjoying it. The ice melted, and, eventually I got into it. And having really played that game through to 100% and completed it, absolutely loved it.
good.
Oh, yeah, we left off at Game Boy. We got super sidetracked.
So you're gonna keep it or drop it?
The Game Boy's a keep.
What's your favorite game? If you can remember.
Yeah, no, there's so many Game Boy games.
Of course, that game.
My favourite one's going to be Tetris, because it's one that I always come back to. Wait, and you're going to snigger at Tetris for the Game Boy. Why are we sniggering?
Okay, number 8.
Is he okay? Does he need to readjust his tampon? I mean,
Of all the games for Game Boy?
yeah, of all the games for the Game Boy, Tetris, like, the absolute classic, the world beater, the bestseller, the one that changed this shape of video gaming forevermore.
Moving on. Number 8.
Is he killing himself laughing because I said that the best-selling game for the Game Boy is my favourite?
Number 8.
Number 8. Sega Dreamcast.
No, really. I mean, is someone doing this behind my head, or are you killing yourself laughing because I said that the best-selling game for the Game Boy is my favourite?
No, just because of all the games to pick, Tetris is not the one I expected to come out of your mouth.
I play Tetris more than any other Game Boy game with my wife constantly.
That's awesome.
All the time.
Good for you.
Tetris
Good for
is
you.
great. Tetris is great.
Great game.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You both got Google, right? I mean, should we have a look at how many figures?
I know it's the highest.
How many units
or
or so?
Yeah, for sure.
On the Game Boy.
So you're going to kill yourself laughing because I picked the most popular game for that console?
Not at all.
No.
I'm not laughing.
Of course not.
Look, what have you done? What have you done? Have you pranked me in some way?
This is crazy.
Is there pink paint in my hair?
Anyway, number 8, Sega Dreamcast. Oh, by the way, you have 4 keeps. You only got one more.
Personally, for me, I thought the Dreamcast was a real flop. I mean, I know they had a couple of good Sonic games on there, but really, I thought Dreamcast was a letdown. I thought Genesis was just as powerful as Dreamcast.
I never played the Sega Dream. I played the Sega Genesis. I've never.
Oh no!
Seen the Sega Dreamcast.
Excuse me. There was one in between there. Sega actually went from the Genesis to the Mega Drive to the Dreamcast, and the Dreamcast was not really much of a step up. I felt like the Mega Drive did.
The only Sega I've ever seen was the Genesis. I've never
Genesis.
seen any of the other ones.
Yeah. Well, you never heard of the Mega Drive? I thought that'd be on there somewhere.
No.
Okay, Sega Mega Drive was a fantastic console. I thought it was really good.
So Dreamcast.
Nah, that's a thumbs down for me.
All right, that is your 4th drop. You have 2 more left. You have 1 more keep, 1 more drop. PlayStation 2. I think I know the answer.
Never played it.
Yep, so that's a drop, yeah?
Drop.
That leaves you keeping GameCube. Have you ever played a GameCube?
Yes, and I did own a GameCube, and I enjoyed it. Actually,
That's one of my favorite consoles of all time. I
really,
loved it so much.
I really liked
What was
it.
your favorite game?
I like Die Hard Vendetta, and I like those couple of the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games were good on there.
Oh yeah, dude, on the GameCube, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was back.
Yeah. I thought it had it's. I tell you what, that one launched with loads of really strong titles around it. You know, whereas when the N64 launched, I think they only had Pilot Wings 64 and Super Mario.
Yeah, like the 64 had a gradual build to being fantastic.
Yeah.
Whereas the
GameCube just
The
had
GameCube
so-
hit the ground
came
running.
out
Yeah.
with-
Super Smash Brothers Melee is still one of the best games of all time.
Oh, dude.
I love that game.
I just remember it being a really fun console, and it was compact. It was easy. The discs were tiny.
Yeah.
And I always had a good time with the GameCube.
I
yeah.
love that. And then I don't know if you ever played it, Sonic Adventure. I think it was Sonic Adventure 2 or Sonic Adventure 3, where you have the Chow World. I don't know if either one of you are familiar. And you would collect your
I
Chow
remember
and raise your Chow.
At the time, I used to collect Nintendo. Oh well, because I was a nerd.
Yeah.
I used to collect Nintendo Official Magazine every month. I used to go to the newsagents opposite my house and go and buy a copy of that. And the idea of a Sonic game appearing on a Nintendo console was revolutionary at the time.
Yeah.
Because Sonic had always been a Sega property,
Yep.
and Super Mario had always been a Nintendo property.
And they were rivals, kind of.
That's right. So for them to appear on the same console,
Yeah.
not necessarily in the same game, but even on the same format, was
it was a big deal.
revolutionary.
Dude, Sonic Adventure. I think it's Sonic Adventure 2, if I remember right, with the Chow World. I loved it. That was one of my favorite games of all time. But no mention of the Virtual Boy. I don't even know what a Virtual Boy
I
is.
turned in a Virtual Boy, and Brandy, if you're watching, if my wife is watching this, and she does catch up with these things eventually, her and I were in my hometown in Reading, England, and I had a Virtual Boy, which used to belong to my older brother, and I turned it in.
What is it?
Oh my goodness. It comes on a stand and it looks like a pair of binoculars. So essentially it looks like a virtual reality binocular headset.
Like that one?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, but you've got like a sucker, like a sort of...
It kind of like the things that you would see at like the top of the Eiffel Tower or something when you go up there and put your face to
yeah, that would be a fair assessment, right? So you've got a bit of a sucker part here that like affixes to the eyes. And it was Nintendo's first stab at virtual reality.
Oh, that's cool.
The technology is very dated now, but looking back on it, it had some charm to it.
Gene said it was awful.
And it probably was. I mean, virtual reality that long
yeah.
ago.
So I had Mario Tennis for the Virtual Boy, and it was dreadful. And like I say, it's Nintendo's first stab at virtual reality.
Yeah, they tried. I mean,
It
somebody had to get the ball rolling.
In other words, it was quaint, it was charming. Were the games fun? No.
Gotcha.
But did it make you feel as if you were stepping back in time? Yeah. So, but eventually, it took me to sort of go to one of these. Now we've got a pawn shop back home. Pawn, P-A-W-N. So,
Yeah,
Gotcha.
thank you for specifying.
yes, a pawn.
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 Yeah, but you say pawn.
Spell
Pawn
it.
shop.
So you say pawn as in P-O-N, right? P-A-W-N. I don't need to spell it again, do I?
Pawn.
Pawn.
A pawn shop where we pawn items in, and therefore we went to
Thought he was going to say something crazy like, we got a porn store back home.
Virtual porn.
Yes, I mean there's plenty of those too. However, myself and my wife did not end up in that place. We took the Virtual Boy and I cashed it in, and they took Mario Tennis and the Virtual Boy, and basically said, we don't even know what to offer you for these. These are like relics.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It was almost as if they were priceless at that time. But no, we would have no use for them in this day and age. The technology is very dated. The games aren't very fun.
Yeah.
It would only be there for a retro kick.
Okay, so that's going to take us to our last one.
Good. Because I need a whiz.
Well, you
Then
can go
this
ahead and
is-
whiz
this
now.
is
Why
the
don't we
be-
go
this
ahead
is the
and why
best
don't you go ahead and
list.
take a whiz now?
It's the best list yet.
Yeah, go ahead and take a whiz.
I gotta look up a picture of this thing. Oh wow, that thing is dreadful to look at.
What are we looking at?
The Virtual Boy.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that.
Look at that thing. $19.95. Oh, just announced a day ago, Nintendo's bringing it back as a Switch and Switch 2 accessory.
Interesting. It's probably just gonna have VR games. It's just gonna be a VR headset.
Probably. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Boo might have got screwed at the pawn shop. Because I'm looking at a Virtual Boy console system, complete, like original,
Yeah.
$685.
It would give you the worst headache after playing for just 10 minutes and everything was black and red. That sounds...
Ooh, that sounds awful.
Okay. Are you ready for this?
Yes, sir.
So this is going to be Keep 5, Drop 5. Mortal Kombat characters.
Oh, all right. No, I love these games.
All right, here we go. Sonya Blade.
Oof. I don't usually play as Sonya. Recently, I have done because I've unlocked her moveset. I think it was in the second game or the third game. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean she's cool, but I don't usually play as her. So let's drop.
Okay. Shang Tsung.
Love Shang Tsung. Depends which entry are we talking about, or just the franchise.
Just franchise as a whole.
Now see, he's so good in certain games. Particularly in MK2, where he can shapeshift and does the like really cool fatalities, and I like playing as Shang Tsung. Let's keep him.
Keeping Shang Tsung. Raiden.
Raiden's my favorite, so yeah, keep.
Actually?
Yeah, he's
I
dope.
love him.
Raiden's so dope. Liu Kang.
Liu Kang's like the standard character that the game always wants you to start out with, and therefore
He's kind of the main character of Mortal Kombat, I feel like.
he is in the films too. So you know, I mean, in MK1, 2, at least in MK1 and 2, he's if you were to leave the pad alone, it will select Liu Kang for you.
Yeah.
And therefore, I've played him so much, and I like him as a character, but yeah, he's a drop.
Okay. Not what I was expecting, actually. Number 5, Johnny Cage.
Drop. I don't like him in the films. I don't like him in the games.
All right, so I'll go ahead and give you a rundown. You've dropped Sonya Blade. You've kept Shang Tsung. You've kept Raiden. You have dropped Liu Kang. And you have dropped Johnny Cage.
That's accurate.
Moving on to number 6, Scorpion.
Used to love playing as Scorpion when I was like an initial MK player because everyone knows that, you know, back low punch is the get over here. Yeah. So, but I don't know. I found him. I don't feel like he's got a great move set, and I got a bit bored of playing him after the initial like sort of hype of him being so good. So I'm going to drop him.
Wow.
That's wild.
That's one of my favorite. That probably actually. So your 4 drops in, by the way.
Yeah.
That's your 4th drop. That is probably my second favorite character behind Raiden. Like Raiden's sick, and then Scorpion's so.
You
cool.
haven't mentioned.
Which I don't play Mortal Kombat like that. Like I'm not super into like playing it.
Yeah, I just look at the characters.
But like as far as like the character and stuff, yeah, he's sick. Number 7,
Yes.
Sub-Zero.
I was waiting for you to say him, but he's absolute keep.
You love Sub-Zero.
Fantastic. I love his move set. I love the ease of being able to do his moves. He looks cool.
He does look cool.
He's got a fantastic move set. He's really fun to play. I just like Sub-Zero.
Okay. Shao Kahn.
Well, I've never played as Shao Kahn. I've only ever played against him. Because
he wasn't a playable character in
wasn't
the
original.
originals.
We couldn't unlock him until the later games, and I never played him. So I played against him. So
If you drop him, that's it. Keeping the rest.
well, what I can't exactly keep him because I haven't played that character, so I'm going to have to drop.
Copy that. That leaves you keeping Katana
Yeah, Kitana was fun.
and Goro.
Goro was a character I could never play as either because I only played the first 3 or 4.
Yeah, he was a boss fight.
All right, let's swap
was a
for
boss
Baraka.
character, yeah.
So we'll just say you kept Baraka.
Yeah. That works for me though because that selection of characters, besides the bosses there, they were all ones I loved.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's it. That wraps us up.
Absolutely.
That was that's a good list to end on. I feel like Mortal Kombat's a strong subject for you.
And where were you, Justin Howell, I know you love this franchise.
Well, Justin's more into the new ones.
I'm more into the old ones.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But yeah, that was good. It's nice for the King of England to loan us some time this evening and be back with us. And actually, before we end it off, there is a picture that I would like to show you.
Oh God.
It is, and what I'll do is I will show the camera first and then quickly show Boo
No, he'll see it on TV.
because he'll see it on the TV, but I need a genuine reaction. So, from the Highlands of England, royalty saying hello. He said that to me just to do that.
There is no such thing as the Highlands of England. Scotland is above us. That's where the Highlands are. This wanker here.
Which one?
It would not be.
Either one of them.
It would
they
not
need to get
be-
a room. That's all I need to say.
It would not be a Brohannya podcast without Paul Hill. So even though he's only here in spirit,
For any of you who don't know who this is, so I'm sure there's lots of you.
he is royalty in England.
He is a wanker in England. He is a nobody, an absolute loser. Who these two? I mean, they just need some time alone with him. I think.
We love Paul Hill. over
We
here.
love Paul Hill. Everybody
yeah.
give it up for Paul. But oh man, what a fantastic episode. Thank you to everybody for watching.
It's been thoroughly dreadful. I really hope I don't have to spend too much time in your company anymore.
So next weekend, it'll just be me and Christian, but we do have something fun planned that
Oh
we
yeah,
will
this is
be
gonna be a
doing.
fun one. You need to watch this. I
So
don't know if you've heard about it yet.
we're not gonna announce it, but so you gotta
Oh,
watch.
no, we should announce it.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
no, I'm not just saying this, by the way, but I've watched every episode.
Yeah, well, no, this is going to be one that you definitely want to watch.
So next weekend, Christian will be cooking the chicken wings, and we are going to play. We'll probably start the episode like normal. We'll have a little conversation, talk about some stuff.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna go and do.
What we could do is actually start the video with us prepping the chicken, get everything going,
Yeah.
cooking it if you want to.
Yeah, we can. So, and then we're gonna play Truth or Dab. The wings will be coated first in the last dab hot sauce, and then obviously on top of that, you got to put the last dab on it. And the first to eat 3
Yeah, because we don't want to go past
loses
3.
because we
3
don't
is
want to end up
crazy.
in the hospital dying. So if you want to see pain and torture, next weekend is the weekend to watch it and make it happen. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, we appreciate everybody watching. We hope you've enjoyed the King of England and everything he has brought and
How
offered.
can he be the king if Paul's the king?
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, the Prince of England here. And yeah, so we appreciate it. We'll see you guys next Saturday. Peace.
Peace. Say bye, Boo.
Bye, Boo.